Thursday, June the 4th. Today, overdose crisis. More details on a pilot project aiming to save lives in downtown Winnipeg and why staffing could be an issue. Also, a troubling and tragic trend. Mounties are urging drivers to slow down after a series of fatal crashes on Manitoba highways. Plus, Indigenous and Allies grads. How one school division is celebrating its graduating students with a massive powwow. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Morning, Manitoba. Happy Thursday to you. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, Ainsley McPhail is going to be in the Exchange District. They have really a fun thing going on. Once a month, they do the first Fridays in the Exchange. It's a great way to celebrate the area and the businesses that locate there. And it's a great way to sort of explore the area as well. And that is what Ainsley is going to be doing throughout the morning. But yesterday, what another wacky night. We got tornado warnings on our phones. People in LaSalle were seeing funnel clouds in the distance near Domain, all kinds of activity yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, we're into that season now where you can have, you know, a more stable, not necessarily stable, but a less active day, and then all of a sudden by evening time, everything takes a little bit of a turn. So as far as the conditions go this morning, we're back to peace and quiet. It's 14 degrees. The sun is shining. The winds are light. Out of the southwest, they're 10 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, and the humidity is sitting at 99%. Look at the way the sun is making the whole city shine this morning. Beautiful start to the day. Temperature still above seasonal. 9 degrees would be a normal low, so we're in the mid-teens right now. And while it's clear through the most southern stretch, you can see all the little lightning bolts still firing off and the blob of green through central Manitoba. Further up into the north, clear conditions there as well, but we do have the possibility of perhaps seeing a little bit of brief precipitation passing through later on today. The bulk of it will remain in areas just to the north of us. Through central Manitoba is where things will be most active, but later on this afternoon there you can see just a brief passing shower or two, and then clearing out again. So we've actually got a very pleasant day ahead. A little bit of passing precipitation, nothing. But central Manitoba will see a little more of that tapering off by evening time, just some heavier clouds left behind. Now we might again see a brief passing shower through the evening or overnight hours, but then clearing out. Now, tomorrow we will perhaps see a few more clouds building up through the day, but the temperatures, they're still likely to remain close to seasonal till the end of the week. And then for the weekend, that's when they spike again. So up into that 30-degree zone with the potential for some thunderstorms passing through on Sunday. Temperatures remaining above seasonal then as we continue on to next week.
Thank you, Terry. As we told you earlier this week, the province is paying for a team of mobile paramedics to respond to drug overdoses in Winnipeg's inner city. The $800,000 pilot project starts this month, but as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, there are questions as to how this will be staffed, as paramedics are already having trouble keeping up.
On North Main Street, some carry around naloxone to save people from overdosing, but they're not trained healthcare professionals. Now, a new team of mobile paramedics will respond to overdose calls in high-demand areas.
We hope to, of course, save lives, help the frontline responders.
The province is spending $800,000 on a pilot project with the Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service. Starting this month, a dedicated two-person paramedic team will be available 24/7 to respond to overdoses in the downtown area. This includes shelters.
This is in response to what the community put forward. They said this would help alleviate the number of calls for service.
Mayor Scott Gillingham and the Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service say the drug crisis has put a strain on both paramedics and firefighters. The belief is this new unit could free up a lot of them.
We've had some responders report that they responded up to 6 times for the same individual in one day.
But staffing the new unit could be an issue. In a news release, Gillingham says he supports the goal of getting medical care faster to those struggling with drugs to reduce the pressure on shelter workers and emergency personnel. But Gillingham and the fire paramedic chief have been calling on the province to add 8 more ambulances and dozens more paramedics to city streets to deal with shortages and stubborn wait times. Any dedicated service unit can and will only be staffed after regular citywide ambulance shifts are fully covered, said Gillingham.
Last year we announced 16 paramedic seats. This year another 32. We're continuing to recruit.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Concerns are emerging over possible funding cuts to groups helping a vulnerable population. At risk is work addressing the 231 calls to justice stemming from the national inquiry into missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. Federally funded initiatives are seeing support cut in half after peaking at $3.7 billion in 2024-25, down to $1.8 billion this fiscal year. This is according to a joint report from the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives and the National Family and Survivors Circle. The Survivors Circle is worried about the impact this will have on people's lives.
The calls for justice are built on inherent and human rights of Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit and gender diverse people, and should never be on political agendas. That there should be long-term, substantive commitments made to ensuring that they're fully implemented and that it's a whole of government approach.
A statement from Crown Indigenous Affairs says federal-led initiatives made progress on 163 of the calls to justice this year. It also pointed to other supports such as funding, anti-racism, medical training, new transitional homes, and Indigenous-led justice programs. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith met with Quebec Premier Christine Fréchette Wednesday as both provinces face votes this fall which could result in independence referendums.
I'm here to show all Albertans, especially those who feel otherwise, that Canada can work for all of us, and that is why I'm here today.
Premier Smith says she wants more collaboration on manufacturing, trade and energy between the two provinces, adding she will urge Alberta businesses to invest in Quebec. She also said both provinces have dealt with an Ottawa that has refused to listen to the needs of both provinces. Alberta is holding a vote this fall on whether to hold an independence referendum. Meanwhile, Quebec's provincial election is scheduled for this fall. The Parti Québécois have promised a referendum if they're elected on October the 5th. New this morning, Israel and Lebanon have agreed to implement a ceasefire as long as Hezbollah stops its attacks.
As a result of U.S.-led negotiations, Israel and Lebanon agreed to the implementation of a ceasefire. The ceasefire is contingent on a complete cessation of Hezbollah fire and the evacuation of all Hezbollah operatives from the South Litani sector.
This plan also creates a number of pilot security zones inside Lebanon where Hezbollah operatives would be banned. Instead, the Lebanese armed forces would take full control. The agreement was announced in Washington Wednesday after Israeli strikes killed at least 9 people in southern Lebanon and Hezbollah fired rockets into northern Israel. There's hope this ceasefire can help pave the way to ending the U.S. and Israeli war in Iran.
I wouldn't say angry. I was a little bit perturbed at his constantly fighting with Lebanon. At some point I said, Bibi, we got to stop this. We got to stop it.
Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump says he called Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu crazy in a phone call Monday. That was in response to Israeli attacks on Lebanon, which the U.S. says is affecting diplomatic relations with Iran as they try to end the war. A man is hoping an unusual legal move will help unmask his cyber bully or bullies. Last week, a lawsuit was filed by Matthew Flisfeder, a rhetoric and communications professor at the University of Winnipeg. It alleges he's been the target of a slew of humiliating social media posts, including fabricated statements, digitally manipulated videos, and vulgar impersonations. The suit says at least 7 Instagram accounts and 1 account on X were using the professor's likeness to post the content between June and December last year. To find out who's really behind the accounts, the professor is suing X and Meta, Instagram's parent company, as well as 2 anonymous defendants. Flisfeder is hoping this will force the social media giants to identify the account's creator or creators. None of the allegations has been tested in court, and no statements of defense have been filed yet. The Assiniboine Park Zoo is welcoming its newest ambassador.
Hey, Lumi. What a beautiful animal.
This curious cat is Lumi the lynx, and as you can see, she's taking to her new surroundings quite well. Lumi was brought to Wildlife Haven as an orphaned kitty this past spring. On Wednesday, the little lynx was brought to her forever home at the zoo. You can visit Lumi and learn about what it took to rescue her at Assiniboine Park Zoo. Here's a look at traffic now along Confusion Corner. Things appear to be moving quite well starting off this Thursday morning. If you encounter any problems out on the streets, please send us a text to let us know. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live this morning in the Exchange District. Good morning, Ainsley.
Hi, happy Friday, Junior.
Every Thursday, I love calling it Friday Junior, which is perfect because we're previewing First Fridays in the Exchange. It's been going on for 14 years now, and still Winnipeggers don't know about it happening all year round. So go to dozens of businesses in the Exchange, whether you're picking up a piece of local art or we're at Two Macaws right now, something that's been sourced from all over the world. We're going to have conversations with Noor about that. There's also some interactive hands-on activities as well, like maybe getting yourself a portrait. Maybe you're getting a tarot card reading too. And as it pertains to the art, she was saying across the street, because when you go on the map, you can kind of map out your route. She said there's some great at Soul Gallery across the street, so I'm going to have to maybe do that tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. Cleaning up the flowers, doing
Trying to
some
get my
deadheading.
rain gauge in. I was a little late to the party. I kind of wish I had this in last night because I came out here and the patio is absolutely saturated. I mean, the wood is wet. And then I was like, oh, I wonder. And my rain gauge was inside. I hadn't even put it out for the season yet. We had a couple of days now of very active weather. Whew. It would have blown over the other day, though. My goodness, the way those winds picked up. Anyway, now it'll be up. It's hidden, but it'll be up and it'll be able to collect the little bit of shower activity that we're going to see today, which will probably be pretty insignificant. Whew. The sun is up right now, though. Gorgeous start to the morning. 14 degrees at the moment with southeast winds, 5 clicks. The pressure is falling. The humidity sitting at 93%. Yeah. After a day of rain or a night of rain and then to wake up to the sunshine, the plants, oh, like honestly, they just look so happy. I stepped out here, I was like, oh, good morning to you. They were like, good morning. Really, you can tell when plants are happy, and that's what we're seeing right now. Now, central Manitoba is still likely to see a fair bit of shower activity, maybe even some thunderstorms throughout the day today, and we have the possibility later this afternoon to get a brief bit of passing precipitation, but overall things are likely to look far more stable today than what we've been dealing with. I mean, the past couple of nights now, things have been very, very active into the evening. Slightly cooler temperatures compared to that little blast of heat we got, or the blast of heat that's coming will be the seasonal low 20s for the next couple of days, and then those 30-degree temps will be back again for the weekend. Taking a break, we'll be back too with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Good morning. RCMP are pleading with drivers to slow down on Manitoba highways. It comes amid a tragic trend of deadly crashes. In just the past few days, fatal crashes have been reported in or near Brandon, Roblin, and Garson. 2 people were killed in a crash near Arborg Friday, and most recently, a Manitoba man died just over the border near Rush Bay, Ontario. CTV's Joseph Bernacki has more, and a warning now, some of these images and videos could be disturbing.
Almost missed that.
Winnipeg's Shane Young says he very easily could have died in this fiery crash on the Trans-Canada Highway Tuesday, just west of Kenora.
I keep thinking, if it was me in front, what would have happened? Thinking all sorts of things, and like I'd be dead instantly, so I wouldn't have felt it.
Young was returning to Winnipeg from Kenora early Tuesday afternoon. What was supposed to be a leisurely drive home turned into a nightmare behind the wheel. About 100 yards ahead of him on the highway, Young watched a small car and semi-truck collide in front of him.
Huge explosion, big fireball. Unbelievable.
Ontario Provincial Police say a 32-year-old male from Winnipeg was killed. And this wasn't the only serious collision on the roads that day. Tuesday near St. Anne, RCMP say 4 people were taken to hospital at the corner of Highway 12 and Provincial Road 210.
It's a very dangerous crossing. I mean, we go there multiple times a year, and sometimes multiple times a month even.
RCMP say the number of collisions and fatalities over the past week are concerning.
This year, from January to the end of May, we've had 23 fatal collisions, which is the same number as we had last year at this time. This year, though, we have 27 deaths, but last year we had 24 deaths at this time.
The RCMP is reminding drivers to slow down and follow the rules of the road. Last year, RCMP say there were 63 fatal collisions and 69 total deaths. Shane Young is grateful he got home safe Tuesday.
Everyone that knows me, I always say every day above ground is a good day. And today's one of those days.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
CTV News has reached out to Manitoba Public Insurance for additional information on collision statistics reported this year. We're waiting for a response. A new report paints a complicated picture of incidents at the city's largest library so far this year. Data shows the total number of incidents at Millennium Library, which includes everything from medical events, harassment, and vandalism, are down 35% in the first quarter compared to 2025. But the public service notes this could be due to a combination of factors. The number of total visitors dropped 15.5%. Buses are no longer traveling down Graham Avenue, and the library began barring people from entering if they've been involved in repeated incidents. And even though there were fewer people and fewer incidents overall, the number of calls to police rose from 13 last year to 35. The report will be presented at the next Community Services meeting Tuesday. The Winnipeg School Division is celebrating the achievements of its graduating students. Each high school was announced as they entered the graduation powwow at Canada Life Centre. Around 2,500 people took part. The division has hosted a powwow for several years with students from grade 1 to 12, but this was the first time it was held indoors.
Well, we focused this year on the grade 12s, the graduates, the high schools, because last year we had to cancel because of the forest fires. So that's why we made the shift to indoors.
Each graduate donned a stole over their shoulders. Red were for Indigenous grads, while allies wore yellow. 3 big drums from different high schools also joined the celebration for the first time. While the Stanley Cup final is still going on, maybe underwater hockey is more appropriate for this time of year.
One of the most intense, physically demanding sports you can get, mainly because not only do you train like an Olympic athlete, but you hold your breath while you're doing it.
One of the places underwater hockey is most popular in is the UAE. They're hoping to have a great showing at this year's World Championships being held in Indonesia this summer. The sport was first developed in the 1950s in the UK and seems to be surging in popularity elsewhere now. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on Sherbourne Street. Both north and southbound curb lanes will be closed from Portage to Westminster Avenue. The northbound curb lane on Lipton Street will be closed between Wolseley and Westminster, and the northbound curb lane on Yonge Street will be closed from Ellis to Sargent Avenue. If you see any problems out on the streets, please send us a text to let us know.
All right, it is beautiful outside this morning. You can just see the way those buildings are glowing as the sun shines over us after a stormy night last night. The CTV Live Eye, oh, what are we going to see? Taking a little tour around the city as we look to the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Yeah, the whole city is looking good this morning. Plenty of sunshine to kick us off. Really nice temperatures once again, still well above seasonal, 9 degrees. That would be a normal low temperature. Here in Winnipeg, we're coming in at 14 degrees. Not just Winnipeg, Morton Winkler area as well. 15 in Portage, 12 in Brandon, and then getting a little bit cooler through that more central stretch of the province, starting out in the single digits. But again, at least a couple degrees above what you would expect morning temperatures to be sitting at, and those mid-single digits right up into the north, or Churchill high single digits for you. You've had some warm starts to your day, and fairly clear conditions in that most northern part of the province, and we too will see, as we are right now, a little bit of sunshine first thing. Where it's far more active, that's through central Manitoba, and you can see the green shower activity, but all those little white lightning bolts, things are a little bit stormier in some of those places. So things are far more active through the central part, but later today there is the possibility that we see that kind of wrap around a little bit and just kind of kiss us with a little bit of brief shower activity later on this afternoon. But sunshine to enjoy up until then. 17 by the time kids are getting into the classroom, 21 through the lunch hour. Now 22 degrees is normal for this time of year, and we'll go just beyond it today. So not soaring beyond seasonal by any means, and that little bit of shower activity through midday will be brief. Into the evening time, things begin to clear out once again. So 23 for today, 21 for tomorrow. The winds remaining light to moderate over the next couple of days. For those of you that are waiting for the heat, I know I'm a big fan of it, and it does look like it'll be timed out perfectly for the weekend. You want to hit the beach? Why not? 30 degrees and sunny. Things could get a little bit stormy, though, later into the day, Sunday, after a hot high of 31 degrees. A bit of a cool down could happen with some showers. Now, it's not a drastic cool down by any means. Mid-20s is where we're we're going to be for the early part of next week, and not long after seeing the mercury climb again back up into those high 20s, so well above the seasonal high of 22 degrees. Out in Grand Rapids, this picture, when I opened it up, I was shocked. The teeth on the bear, the claws. You've got high-def TV probably at home. Look at this thing. Wow. Wow, Solomon, I'm glad you're safe enough to have sent this in to us. Keep the photos coming to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca. We're taking a break. We'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Good morning. If you're trying to plan out your Folk Fest weekend, check out this Your Morning Winnipeg contest. The 51st edition of Folk Festival runs July 9th to the 12th out at Birds Hill Park. Taking the main stage, Father John Misty, Lucy Dacus, Sylvan Esso, and Monsters and Men. And this is your chance to win 4 tickets and invite your family and friends to enjoy all 4 days of the Winnipeg Folk Festival. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and don't forget to enter the keyword HAPPY. Good luck. With the World Cup just over a week away, support for Canada is flying high in BC. CTV's Shannon Patterson on a world record-breaking maple leaf.
The largest Canadian flag ever produced was installed on the Cut on Grouse Mountain Tuesday afternoon.
We were looking at something that, showcased our Canadian pride as the World Cup came to Vancouver.
We were originally planning on putting the flag horizontally across so that it could face the city, and then he said, just out of curiosity, what would it take to break the world record?
When Grouse learned there was a chance to break the Guinness World Record for largest flag unfurled on a mountain,
we made it 160 by 80 meters. And the flag is so big that we had to tilt it up onto its side just to fit onto the Cut.
Producing a flag this big is no easy task.
It was 20 days of printing it nonstop. It's 60 panels, and then we had to sew all of the panels together.
100 people helped install the giant flag, which is held in place with airplane cables and a dozen solid concrete blocks.
We carried it down the lengthwise of the hill, attached it to the cable, and then the whole team pulled it out at once. It was actually a remarkably smooth installation process.
I just saw it from my plane when I arrived yesterday, so it was my first step to confirm this is the largest flag unfurled on a mountain.
After taking exact measurements, on Wednesday, a Guinness World Record adjudicator made it official.
Now you are officially amazing.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Suzanne. I cannot believe this.
You made it. This is a new record title.
I grew up on Grouse Mountain. I've been coming up here since I was a tiny little kid. To get this opportunity to do this for our city during the FIFA World Cup while the world's eyes are on our beautiful city means everything to me.
The flag will remain in place at least through Canada Day.
When the flag is removed from Grouse Mountain, the material will not go to waste. It's being donated to charity.
And they make quilts and bags as well, so we'll donate the material to them.
And they'll make something out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the legacy continues.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, North Vancouver.
Doesn't that look incredible? Here's a look at Prevanche Bridge, also an incredible sight this morning. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Degrees. What a beautiful start to your morning. Clear sky and sunshine after those storms last night. What a pleasant change up. And some light winds out of the southeast, just 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 93%. And some sunshine to dry up some of those puddles left behind last night. Wowza, what a storm that was. Again, 2 nights in a row with the very active weather. But today there is still a little more activity lingering through the more central stretch of the province, with still a few little lightning bolts firing off in there. It is downsizing, tapering off somewhat, as is what we were seeing off to the east. And for us here in the south, clear conditions and clear up north as well. So a few places that'll enjoy plenty of sunshine. We do, however, have the possibility later today to see a brief passing shower. 23 degrees, though. That's pretty close to what is normal for this time of year. In fact, 22 is normal, so slightly above seasonal temperatures, with a northwest wind remaining light to moderate, 20 kilometers per hour. Now, overnight, there's still the chance of a brief shower, 13 degrees, and those light winds remaining in place. 9 would be a seasonal low temperature, so still our overnight lows. Even though we're getting back to those more seasonal daytime highs, our overnight lows are warmer than you would expect. And the daytime highs, low 20s. Some people prefer that to the low 30s. Personally, myself, I like the heat, and it's coming back for the weekend. Perfectly timed out, if you ask me. Sunshine for Saturday. There will be sunshine through Sunday, especially in the morning hours, but the possibility of storms later on into the day. And then some really nice temperatures, mid-20s. I think that's a lot of people's kind of happy places, right in that kind of Goldilocks zone, but it will be soaring back up into the high 20s later on into the week.
Thank you, Terry. For the second straight night, tornado warnings were issued for parts of our province. Environment and Climate Change Canada first issued a red tornado warning around 6:30 Wednesday evening for areas that included the RMs of Roland and Morris, and later expanded to the RMs of McDonald and De Salaberry. That warning was lifted just after 8 p.m. Then a second warning was issued around 8:40 for the RM of Hanover, which covers the areas of Steinbach, Niverville, and Grunthal. It was lifted shortly after 9 p.m. As of this morning, Environment and Climate Change Canada tells CTV News there were no reports of actual tornadoes touching down. A River Heights area high school is getting a new gym. The Winnipeg School Division is seeking a contractor to build an addition to Kelvin High School's gymnasium. It would be located in the field next to the existing building and would attach to the 2017 addition. The plan includes 2 change rooms, showers, a lobby, along with storage and office areas. A letter within the proposal also mentions the installation of a rubberized surface to the existing track and new goalposts for the field. The province committed money for design work on the project in last year's budget. The deadline for applications is June 26th. Questions over the supply of oil are expected to keep gas prices volatile throughout the summer.
In the case of the United States, they produce 13.5 million barrels a day, but they consume 21 billion barrels. Another 30, 40 days of this, and we are in very serious trouble.
Gas price analyst Dan McTagg is warning the U.S. may face an oil shortage by August. The Strait of Hormuz remains closed and oil reserves are drained. A worldwide shortage, which will mean higher prices here in Canada. After a brief dip, prices are edging back up across the country. McTagg says drivers should take advantage when prices fall because they're likely to bounce right back up. Another day, more tariffs. U.S. President Donald Trump plans to introduce new tariffs on dozens of countries, including Canada, claiming we are allowing imports into the country made with forced labor. CTV's Abigail Beeman has more on Ottawa's response.
Hello. Just hours after the U.S.-Canada trade minister said he had a positive meeting with Jameson Greer, Greer put Canada on the list of countries that could be hit with a new 10% tariff. The failure of our most important trading partners to address the importation of goods made with forced labor is unacceptable. This creates a dynamic where American workers are forced to compete globally on an unlevel playing field, Greer said.
This is not a surprise.
The Prime Minister pointed out the vast majority of goods fall under the Canada-U.S.-Mexico free trade deal and won't be impacted. He says Canada supports the overall objective.
We made some changes earlier this year on things that candidly were not as effective, so there's ways we can change things legislatively. We'll be proposing that to the House in the coming weeks.
It's not about forced labor. It's about finding a new reason, any reason they can, to apply a tariff on Canada and the world to harm our economies. It's just like the fentanyl tariffs.
LeBlanc wouldn't answer whether he and Greer discussed Canada's move to allow some Chinese EVs into the market.
We don't discuss publicly the content of private conversations.
This administration is willing to use any leverage it has in order to get Canada or any other country to do what it wants.
U.S.-Canada expert Christopher Sands says the U.S. is intentionally moving some trade irritants outside CUSMA, or as it's known here, the USMCA.
The good news is that might mean the USMCA could move as far as renewal, or that the negotiations could be more constructive going forward. The bad news is this is designed to keep the U.S. with leverage, even if we renew USMCA, because we have these other issues that we could use to impose tariffs on Canada.
Now, these tariffs aren't in place just yet. Experts say important to point out there is a process. The USTR will hold hearings about them July 7th. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Washington.
Tim Hortons is getting out of the credit card business. Customers were told the program will shut down by October the 1st. The cards will still work, but they will be run by another company, and users can't collect Tim's rewards points. The card was launched in 2023. Tim Hortons says it's looking for new ways to bring value to Canadians. Hundreds of people turned out at Madrid's busy El Rastro flea market to swap World Cup stickers. The wildly popular Panini stickers are basically sold out across the city, so people are working together to fill out their albums. The albums are particularly big this year as well, since there's an unprecedented 48 teams in the World Cup. Watch out for similar sticker swapping events here in Canada as well if you're looking to complete your own album. A moose calf found itself trapped in water south of Calgary until a group of people stepped in to help. A man out for a walk on his ranch saw the calf in a pond, or stuck in a pond, surrounded by deep reeds. He called a friend who rescued it.
You saw Rob trying to get out of there. So unless you're standing right on top of a root ball, the reeds there, you're plunging down quite a bit. So that little guy was going to have a hard time getting out of there.
And the young moose trotted into the forest where the ranch owner believes it reunited with the mother that was in the area. Look how small he was. Here's a look at what's happening outside now on McPhillip Street. Looks like a smooth drive so far this morning. If you see any problems out there, please let us know. And let's look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.59. It's a small drop from yesterday. And the lowest price in the city is $1.49. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Coming up, Ainsley is live in the Exchange District. First Fridays in the Exchange continues this season. We'll tell you more about what's going on.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
A gorgeous start to your morning. Yes, my patio saturated from last night's rain, but my flowers are looking glorious. They were loving it. We needed it. And now we're getting the sunshine and a beautiful day ahead with some seasonal temperatures. So for those of you who have found it to be a little bit hot, although the last couple of days have been closer to normal, and we've still got another couple of those more seasonal temps to enjoy before the heat really comes back again. It's 14 degrees right now with southeast wind 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, humidity sitting at 93%. And yes, the sun is up, blue sky above, looking absolutely gorgeous. It was so clear that that moon still on display this morning was looking stunning and bright. And now the sunshine to take its place, warming us up to a pleasant day with light to moderate winds expected. Now, where is that rain that moved through last night? Some of it has moved through central Manitoba, and still a couple of thunderstorms firing off through central Manitoba, and further to the east, parts of northwestern Ontario still experiencing a bit of precipitation. And in fact, we might see a brief shower passing through again later on today, but aside from that, some sunshine and seasonal temps to enjoy. Let's check in now with Ainsley McPhail and see what's going on this morning. Hey, Ainsley.
Hi, good morning, Terry. When I woke up this morning and took one look at my under eyes, I think today's the day I'm getting a portrait taken of me. Well, I was wrong. We're covering First Fridays in the Exchange, and there's actually live art. Tim Taves is joining me, and I hope I'm doing a good job of... Okay. Tell us about what's happening for tomorrow.
Well, I'm going to be here at Two Macaws tomorrow night doing 2-minute portraits, and looking forward to it. This is a wonderful opportunity and such a great little store. And yeah, so I'm going to be drawing little portraits, fun, whimsical, 2-minute portraits. You don't have to sit for long. And yeah, we're just going to have a good time, and we'll see what happens.
And this isn't typically in your wheelhouse, this type of art. While it is cool and it is beautiful, you like to focus on the architecture of Winnipeg.
Yeah, you know what? We have such beauty in Winnipeg, and I love drawing buildings. I love the buildings. I love the architecture. I've been doing that for a little while, and so I portray the iconic pieces here in Winnipeg that we see all around us every day, sometimes pass by without noticing. And I like to draw attention to the buildings and the beauty that we have here in Winnipeg. So that's what I love to draw. That's kind of my wheelhouse. Drawing people is not something I've actually felt like I'm not good at, but I started practicing, and of course my daughter said, "Dad, you have to do this for people. People will love it." So yeah, I've done this before at a First Friday, and yeah, drawn like 70 portraits in 2 hours. And
oh my goodness. People must really love it then. Okay, and it's a good way to interact with the artists. When it comes to those buildings in Winnipeg, is there any favorites?
You know, lots of people want me to draw or want a picture of BDI, which is an iconic place here in Winnipeg. But I love some of the more iconic buildings, like the legislative building that we have is beautiful. I've just drawn that. And here in the Exchange, I like doing some of these, just these street scenes with these old buildings from the late 1800s. And yeah.
Thank you. Okay, before we're out of time, I just have to show the somewhat finished product. Is that your coloring in my hair?
Yeah, I just got to put some shadow.
Is that nose hair? Oh, shadow for the under eyes. You know what? I'm most concerned about my chin. Or chins, I should say. What do you guys think? Is it accurate? Tell me after the break.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones added 190 points. The Nasdaq fell 406. The S&P index is 40 points down. The Canadian dollar went down as well, set to 71.92 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng lost 379 points, and the Nikkei plunged 931 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. A warning about a convicted sex offender released from custody who's expected to live in Winnipeg. 44-year-old Glenn Gregory Tyler Posniak was released from a prison in Alberta Wednesday on statutory release after being sentenced to 13 years for sexual exploitation, sexual interference, and child pornography charges. Authorities say he's completed some sex offender programming in custody, but is still considered a high risk to reoffend. Boys and male youth are considered at risk. Anyone with information about Posniak is asked to call one of the numbers on your screen. Seeding is nearing completion across Manitoba, but it's still lagging behind previous years. As of Tuesday, the province says seeding was 71% complete. On average, over the past 5 years, seeding is typically 85% finished by this time of the year. There's some variation across the province. For example, parts of the northwest region are said to be too wet to seed, while areas in central and eastern Manitoba have received little to no rain at all. The province also notes feed supplies are dwindling in some regions, prompting some producers to already begin securing feed purchases for later this year. A Winnipeg City Council committee is being asked to approve a donation agreement for expired turnout fire gear. Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service gear, such as boots, helmets, and coveralls, is considered beyond its useful life after 10 years. It previously has been cleaned and disposed of. Now, the Public Service is recommending the gear and surplus educational materials be donated to Firefighters Without Borders Canada for use in countries and regions with demonstrated need. The agreement would be effective until May 2036 and would release the city from liability. The Community Services Committee will review the recommendation Tuesday. Some Canadians may see some extra cash from the federal government starting tomorrow. A top-up payment is scheduled ahead of the rollout of the Canadian Groceries and Essentials benefit. The CGEB credit begins next month and replaces the GST-HST credit. The government says the one-time payment is meant to give immediate financial support to people during the transition period. Ottawa says the quarterly payment amounts will jump by 25% for 5 years, giving support to Canadians with low and modest incomes. Some airlines are saying fuel supplies will not be an issue during the busy summer travel season. Air Canada sent out an email to customers saying the airline does not anticipate any significant impact through the summer. This comes after Lufthansa sent out a similar message last week, saying fuel supply is stable and summer is good to go. After the Iran war started back in April, there were warnings that Europe would run out of jet fuel in 6 weeks. Lufthansa says increased imports from North America and higher production in Europe have helped ease the strain. Ottawa is ordering a review of the CRTC's decision to charge streamers more to pay for Canadian content.
Secret to anyone that's been paying any attention to this, that the USTR has identified these issues as a trade issue. It would be disingenuous to suggest that this is the single issue. The reality is we're impatient to make sure that this sector stays vital and stays supported.
The CRTC recently tripled the amount streamers pay to contribute toward Canadian content. It was 5% of their Canadian revenue. That's going up to 15%. The U.S. has repeatedly complained about the Online Streaming Act in trade talks. Ottawa says it ordered the review because the decision could raise costs for Canadians. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on Sherbourne Street. Both north and southbound curb lanes will be closed from Portage to Westminster Avenue. The northbound curb lane on Lipton Street will be closed between Wolseley and Westminster. And the northbound curb lane on Yonge Street will be closed from Ellis to Sargent Avenue. If you have any other traffic tips, please send us a text.
Beautiful outside this morning, 14 degrees and sunny, and the breeze, it's light, just 5 kilometers per hour out of the southeast. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 93%. What a calm start to your day compared to that active weather last night. My goodness, was it ever stormy? And for some, there are still some storms passing through all of those little white squiggles. Those are lightning bolts firing off, and you can see the rain through central Manitoba. Clear up north, clear here in the south for now at least. There is the possibility that later today some showers pass through, but it's more of central Manitoba who will be seeing that activity today. So Island Lake, things could be a little bit soggy for you and a little bit cooler compared to where the sun will be shining, and those mid to high teens are expected as a result, or even some low 20s up in the Lynn Lake area. Yeah, plenty of sunshine in that most northern stretch, and then the clouds and maybe even some of that scattered precipitation in there. As far as southern Manitoba goes, it might be slightly below seasonal for some. 21 degrees in Brandon, Nipawai even cooler, just in those high teens. Central Manitoba cooler yet, mid-teens for you. Well, about 22 degrees would be normal today for this time of year. Now 23 is where we're headed here in Winnipeg. Fair bit of sunshine. Like I said, there's the possibility later this afternoon that a brief shower passes through again. And northwestern Ontario, you might be seeing some of that activity. You can see the green currently on the satellite image indicating those showers off to the east. Well, the next couple of days, slightly cooler or more seasonal temperatures, but that heat comes back in a very big way. Saturday, plenty of sunshine, 30 degrees expected, 31 for Sunday. Sunshine to kick off the day, could wrap it up with some storms and some really pleasant mid to low 20s, or high 20s, pardon me, as we look ahead to next week.
Thank you, Terry. Let's check in now on the team at 103.1 Virgin Radio. Hi, guys. Happy Thursday.
Huh.
Happy Thursday.
To you.
Go, go, go.
We have tickets for Thursday's Winnipeg Folk Festival. So the Thursday night of Folk Fest.
Yeah.
And if you would like to play a game with us, remember our text number, which is 99999. We only play it at this time of year, and this is it, actually. This
People
is yesterday's
freak out over
game.
this game. They're desperate to
Watch
play it. Based on your responses to our questionnaire, we believe we can guess your grad year. What was your first concert, first celebrity crush, first car, and then just for fun, your dream destination? Andy, welcome to Guess Your Grad Year.
Hi.
First concert.
New Kids on the Block.
New Kids on the Block.
Cool.
First car.
Toyota Echo.
Sweet. First celebrity crush.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
And then just for fun, where would you go in the world? What's on your bucket list?
Greece.
Greece.
Nice.
Okay, let me throw something at y'all. Ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because of the Jonathan Taylor Thomas and the Toyota Echo, which hasn't been made since the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we will focus in on the first New Kids on the Block, which was at the old Winnipeg Arena.
You know that because?
I know that because me and my buddy Jay Levesque,
Yeah.
we were assigned to take his little niece to New Kids on the Block.
Okay.
Thinking 99.
She's either a flood of 97 grad or she's a 98 grad. Your call, Chrissy Troy.
Let's go. Andy, we believe that you graduated in 1998.
You got it.
Come on!
That's incredible, guys. Good work.
Right? So
We're always close.
Yeah.
If you want to play, text us 99999. We always we either nail it or we're just like right there.
So come play with us.
The system
That's
works.
Really fun. Okay, well, thanks you guys for that. A Vancouver Island couple's shared love for the ocean and each other led to a once-in-a-lifetime proposal under the sea. CTV's Adam Sawatsky explains.
As Kaylin Lindsay walks along the beach in BC, she recalls posing for a photo with her family in Mexico.
And Maxwell comes and takes the phone out of their hand and takes takes the picture of our family, and that was our first initial meet and greet.
Maxwell Hone was also on vacation and recognized Kaylin's dad because they'd both worked together when he was a commercial diver.
And I was like, oh, John has a daughter, and so I had a really good in.
Although Kaylin and Maxwell grew up in the same place, they'd never met before this.
We really hit it off. Things just kind of flowed, the conversation flowed.
So, for their first date there, they decided to go diving.
I pretty much figured she was the one from like the second day I knew her.
But it wasn't until 3 years later, after Kaylin and John had started working together on his wildlife cinematography business for National Geographic, Netflix, and Disney, that the couple realized what a good team they really were.
Wait for the right person. When they come along, you'll know it.
And that's when John decided to spend 6 months planning a surprise for Kaylin during a diving trip to the Galapagos Islands.
All the kind of things that could go wrong were going wrong.
The current was so strong that day that the thing that Maxwell had hidden earlier on the bottom of the ocean seemed to have swept away until Kaylin spotted a giant turtle.
And then my gaze shifts and I notice this treasure chest.
That turtle was right there as it was guarding the chest. It was the coolest thing ever.
And I'm like, whoa, like what is that doing here?
And when Kaylin opened it, she found it filled with photos documenting their love story, beginning with that first date.
Immediately started crying. My eyes were welling up and my mask was filling up with tears.
Because she knew then, without having to read the love letter Maxwell had also placed in a bottle, or wear the engagement ring also resting in the chest, that the answer to his proposal was absolutely yes.
I was just over the moon. I couldn't believe that he had put this much thought and energy into a proposal.
And while they celebrated their proposal on a boat and expect their wedding to be staged on dry land, the couple is committed to spending as much of their time as husband and wife under the sea. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Royston.
That's a wet kiss. Here's a look outside now on Teche Avenue. Things are moving quite well over here. It's a gorgeous start to the day. We're taking a break. We'll be right back. It's Thursday, June the 4th. Today, mobile overdose team, how a new downtown paramedic unit aims to respond faster to overdose calls. Plus, funding concerns, why advocates are raising alarms over cuts to programs supporting missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls initiatives. And meet Lumi, from orphaned kitten to zoo celebrity, a little lynx is already stealing hearts. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Manitoba, happy Thursday to you, to 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now at 7:52 in our Community Connection, ALS can be such a terrible diagnosis. There is no cure. It happens quickly and it's deadly. It's also, there's no cure, as I just mentioned. So we're going to find out a little bit more about some of the awareness and some of the research happening, and how there is a walk happening soon that can help hopefully find a cure and find more answers. So we're going to get more details on that and what you can do to support them. But the weather, it was such a wacky evening last night. All kinds of warnings going on. My kids were running, looking at the window, looking at the clouds. It was so busy.
For sure. Do you remember being a kid when those storms would roll through? I mean, do you know what? Even as an adult, there's something about me. You see the sky start to darken and the winds increase and then the lightning flashes. Yeah, it is quite fascinating. 14 degrees. So this morning, everything has calmed right down. We're waking up to pleasant temperatures and plenty of sunshine too. And light winds out of the southeast, 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 93%. That's 2 nights in a row now, though, of very active weather. But it's kind of been rolling through into the afternoon and then continuing through the evening time. Now this morning, it's still lingering through parts of central Manitoba and areas just off to the east. It's already pushing off beyond that. So this is where things are going to be looking a little more active today, is through that more central part of the province. For northern Manitoba, it'll stay sunny and clear for you. And here in the south, it's sunny to kick things off, but we might see things kind of wrapping around a little bit. The possibility later this afternoon that a little bit of shower activity passes over us once again, but then clears out again by evening time, and fairly clear, maybe just a few clouds lingering overnight. A few more clouds hanging around through that central part of the province, but most of the shower activity should have tapered off throughout the evening overnight. night. So tomorrow, just a few clouds lingering. Temperature-wise, we've been a little bit cooler, back to more seasonal temperatures. We're calling seasonal cool now because of that blast of heat that we got, or the next blast of heat that's coming. Perfectly timed for the weekend, up to the 30-degree mark again, so both Saturday and Sunday could be well above seasonal. But even next week, with a slight dip, that still keeps us above the seasonal 22 degrees. I think it's beans. I was trying to take a close look as what Madison might have used. Either way, whatever it is, I love what you've done here. So thanks for the art. Please keep it coming. The more creative, the better. Send it through our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and when you do, you'll be entered to win a $100 gift card from Crocodile on Keniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crocodile. Spend quality time with loved ones and paint memories together.
As we told you earlier this week, the province is paying for a team of mobile paramedics to respond to drug overdoses in Winnipeg's inner city. The $800,000 pilot project starts this month. But as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, there are questions as to how this will be staffed, as paramedics are already having trouble keeping up.
On North Main Street, some carry around naloxone to save people from overdosing. But they're not trained healthcare professionals. Now, a new team of mobile paramedics will respond to overdose calls in high-demand areas.
We hope to, of course, save lives, help the frontline responders.
The province is spending $800,000 on a pilot project with the Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service. Starting this month, a dedicated two-person paramedic team will be available 24/7 to respond to overdoses in the downtown area. This includes shelters.
This is in response to what the community put forward. They said this would help alleviate the number of calls for service.
Mayor Scott Gillingham and the Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service say the drug crisis has put a strain on both paramedics and firefighters. The belief is this new unit could free up a lot of them.
We've had some responders report that they responded up to 6 times for the same individual in one day.
But staffing the new unit could be an issue. In a news release, Gillingham says he supports the goal of getting medical care faster to those struggling with drugs to reduce the pressure on shelter workers and emergency personnel. But Gillingham and the fire paramedic chief have been calling on the province to add 8 more ambulances and dozens more paramedics to city streets to deal with shortages and stubborn wait times. Any dedicated service unit can and will only be staffed after regular citywide ambulance shifts are fully covered, said Gillingham.
Last year we announced 16 paramedic seats. This year another 32. We're continuing to recruit.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Concerns are emerging over possible funding cuts to groups helping a vulnerable population. At risk is work addressing the 231 calls to justice stemming from the National Inquiry into Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls. Federally funded initiatives are seeing support cut in half after peaking at $3.7 billion in 2024-2025, down to $1.8 billion this fiscal year. This is according to a joint report from the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives and the National Family and Survivors Circle. The Survivors Circle is worried about the impact this will have on people's lives.
The calls for justice are built on inherent and human rights of Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit and gender diverse people, and should never be on political agendas. That there should be long-term, substantive commitments made to ensuring that they're fully implemented and that it's a whole of government approach.
Statement from Crown Indigenous Affairs says federal-led initiatives made progress on 163 of the calls to justice this year. It also pointed to other supports such as funding anti-racism medical training, new transitional homes, and Indigenous-led justice programs. New this morning, Israel and Lebanon have agreed to implement a ceasefire as long as Hezbollah stops its attacks.
As a result of U.S.-led negotiations, Israel and Lebanon agreed to the implementation of a ceasefire. The ceasefire is contingent on a complete cessation of Hezbollah fire and the evacuation of all Hezbollah operatives from the South Ghouta sector.
This plan also creates a number of pilot security zones inside Lebanon where Hezbollah operatives would be banned. Instead, the Lebanese armed forces would take full control. The agreement was announced in Washington Wednesday after Israeli strikes killed at least 9 people in southern Lebanon and Hezbollah fired rockets into northern Israel. There's hope this ceasefire can help pave the way to ending the U.S. and Israeli war in Iran.
I wouldn't say angry. I was a little bit perturbed at his constantly fighting with Lebanon. You know, at some point I said, we got to stop this. We got to stop it.
Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump says he called Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu crazy in a phone call Monday. That was in response to Israeli attacks on Lebanon, which the U.S. says is affecting diplomatic relations with Iran as they try to end the war. The federal government has approved a plan that would see Canada's last captive whales currently stuck in the now-defunct Marineland Amusement Park in Ontario transferred to aquariums in the United States and Spain. Ottawa has now issued the first round of permits needed to relocate the animals. More approvals are expected before the move takes place. The government has yet to decide whether taxpayer dollars will be used to help relocate the animals. The move follows the deaths of 20 whales at the park since 2019, including 19 belugas and 1 killer whale. The Assiniboine Park Zoo is welcoming its newest ambassador.
Hey, Lumi. What a beautiful animal.
This curious cat is Lumi the lynx, and as you can see, she's taking to her new surroundings quite well. Lumi was brought to Wildlife Haven as an orphaned kitty this past spring. On Wednesday, the little lynx was brought to her forever home at the zoo. You can visit Lumi and learn about what it took to rescue her at Assiniboine Park Zoo. Here's a look at what's happening now on the Norwood Bridge. Looks like things are starting off really nicely in this part of the city. We do have a traffic alert to tell you about. Lights are all in red flashing on Main with Selkirk, so you need to treat that intersection as an always stop and expect delays this morning's rush. The signals crew are on the way to that area. If you have any other traffic tips, please send us a text at 10400.
The Canadian government has directed the country's broadcasting regulator to review its recent decision to triple mandatory contributions from large foreign streaming services to Canadian content production, a move that had drawn sharp criticism from U.S. industry groups. In a statement on Wednesday, the government called for a reversal of the move and noted that Culture Minister Mark Miller has instead announced $600 million in annual direct federal funding to support the sector. A growing number of Americans are searching for properties in Canada as they consider seeking refuge north of the border. A new report from the Canadian real estate company Royal LePage says U.S.-originated sessions on the company's website have spiked throughout the first half of 2026. Broadcom shares fell in extended trading after the company delivered a disappointing forecast for artificial intelligence chip revenue, signaling its efforts to gain ground in the burgeoning industry are going more slowly than anticipated. AI semiconductor revenue will be $16 billion in the fiscal third quarter, missing the $17.2 billion estimate. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live in the Exchange District. First Fridays in the Exchange is a good time. It's been going on for 14 years. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. Today's Friday Junior, but tomorrow, preview this. You get off work early. Your boss allows you to do that. You go home, freshen up, do a nice little walk through the Exchange, grab a dinner, do a walk through, maybe get some jewelry. After that, you pick up some art from a place you've been dying to do that. There's over 60 businesses participating in First Fridays in the Exchange, kicking off at 5 tomorrow. And this has been going on for well over a decade. Participating businesses like Tumacaws are in it, and we're going to be chatting with Noor coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, the owner, and maybe getting some unique finds from all over the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop. It must be so nice and warm up there, Terry.
It's warmer out here than it is in the studio this morning. I promise you that. Yes, we've been freezing all morning long in the studio. But then I come out here, I'm like, oh, it's actually nice outside. You wouldn't know it from being stuck indoors. But anyway, get outside and enjoy that sunshine. It's also starting to dry up my patio. The deck was absolutely saturated, the wood just full of all of the rain that fell last night. Well, now I'm starting to see some drier spots. It's the magic of the power of the sun right now. And it is beautiful out here, starting to warm to 16 degrees now. We were at 14 last hour. Southeast winds are 3 kilometers per hour, so very light. Pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 91%. A stunning start to your day. Blue sky above. Can't even spot a cloud out here. There's a couple out there, but if I look at them, I'm blinded. So I'll just get back to the camera, shall I? Pleasant across southern Manitoba with plenty of sunshine. That'll be the case across the north as well. It's central Manitoba. Still waking up to some lingering shower activity, even some thunderstorms still moving through parts of central Manitoba. And in fact, later on this afternoon, we might see that whole system wrap around and clip us again with a brief shower before it clears out again by evening.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Well, it's time now for our question of the day. Today is National Cheese Day, so we want to hear from you. What's your favorite cheese or cheesy dish? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response, and don't forget to include your name, please.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic, science-backed body contouring.
It's time for our Pet of the Week reveal. This week we're celebrating Ranger. He's a 5-year-old Husky Shepherd mix who's obsessed with his dad and treats. Ranger is the talk of the neighborhood. He has lots of 4-legged friends and loves going on walks. Plus, he's a Jets fan and watches hockey games with his mom. Thanks, Nadine, for sharing this photo, and congratulations to this good boy. We love your Pet of the Week submissions, so keep them coming, please. Share a photo and a fun story of your pet, dog, cat, bird, or any other buddy at petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then make sure to watch Thursdays to see if your pet is named our Pet of the Week. Here's a look outside right now. Things are moving well. It's a gorgeous start to your Thursday morning. We're going to be right back after this. Good morning. A man is hoping an unusual legal move will help unmask his cyber bully or bullies. Last week, a lawsuit was filed by Matthew Flisfetter, a rhetoric and communications professor at the University of Winnipeg. It alleges he's been the target of a slew of humiliating social media posts, including fabricated statements, digitally manipulated videos, and vulgar impersonations. The suit says at least 7 Instagram accounts and 1 account on X were using the professor's likeness to post the content between June and December last year. To find out who's really behind the accounts, the professor is suing X and Meta, Instagram's parent company, as well as 2 anonymous defendants. Flisfetter is hoping this will force the social media giants to identify the account's creator or creators. None of the allegations have been tested in court, and no statements of defense have been filed yet. A new report paints a complicated picture of incidents at the city's largest library so far this year. Data shows the total number of incidents at Millennium Library, which includes everything from medical events, harassment, and vandalism, are down 35% in the first quarter compared to 2025. But the public service notes this could be due to a combination of factors. The number of total visitors dropped 15.5%. Buses are no longer traveling down Graham Avenue, and the library began barring people from entering if they've been involved in repeated incidents. And even though there were fewer people and fewer incidents overall, the number of calls to police rose from 13 last year to 35. The report will be presented at the next Community Services meeting Tuesday. The FIFA World Cup trophy remains on tour around Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. ahead of the tournament opening next week.
Now I got goosebumps because it brings back memories, and it's not easy to win that trophy. It's every 4 years, so you don't have as a player so many chances to be able to win it and lift it.
It was just brought to a place with many other works of art, the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. Accompanying it was German legend Bastian Schweinsteiger, who won it in 2014. The final will be hosted in nearby New Jersey on July 19th. Here's a look at Portage and Main. Right now, things appear to be moving quite well in this part of the city so far. If you see any problems out there, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
The music and entertainment worlds are mourning the death of R&B singer Peabo Bryson, perhaps best known for his versions of now beloved Disney classics. Bryson teamed up with Celine Dion on Beauty and the Beast and with Regina Belle on A Whole New World from Aladdin, both tracks winning Grammys. But they followed a decades-long career of hits, including Tonight I Celebrate My Love with Roberta Flack. Bryson's family says he died this week at age 75 of a stroke. Idris Elba is now a knight. King Charles knighted the actor, musician, and activist at a Windsor Castle ceremony Tuesday for his services to young people. Elba and his wife Sabrina Elba founded a charity to support diaspora communities, and he's a Goodwill ambassador to the King's Trust, which works to help vulnerable young people. Pink is getting ready to raise a glass at the 2026 Tony Awards. As host of the show, Pink is promising an epic performance this weekend. She's famous for her aerial acrobatics in concert and teased that there will be some acrobatic moments. She also said the opening number will be big, with 170 people on stage. Pink says when she was first asked to host the show, it wasn't an immediate yes, but that her daughter Willow encouraged her to do it. A drone-operated light show in southern China honored one of the all-time greats in film. This Jackie Chan-themed show focused on his most iconic roles, entertaining the thousands of people who came out to see it. Even better, there was a mystery guest. That mystery guest, guess what, was Jackie Chan himself. Your primetime lineup today comes with a Marvel's blockbuster. Grab your popcorn and catch Guardians of the Galaxy at 7. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
All right, we're looking now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. You would think that it's kind of hazy outside. It's not. It's beautiful, crystal clear sky above, beautiful, almost cloudless, and some really nice temperatures that are already heating up. From 14 degrees last hour, we're now sitting at 16. Oh, to be sitting outside in the sunshine right now, how nice would that feel? 15 degrees in Portage-la-Prairie. Brandon coming in at 13. 9 would be a seasonal low temperature. All of southern Manitoba is above normal to kick off the day. Double digits through most of southern Manitoba. Then in Swan River, we've got some single digits, 9 degrees, or in the Pas, Island Lake, Lynn Lake, 7 degrees, 5 for Thompson, but this area of the province, very clear, very sunny, and your temperatures will be on the rise as well. Look at Churchill, already at 10 degrees. I mentioned the sunshine across the north, and yes, here in the south as well. For now, central Manitoba, where the lingering shower activity and a few scattered storms still hang about. But later on today, that could wrap around, and we could be seeing a brief passing shower for some time into the afternoon. As we warm up, 19 degrees as kids get into the classroom, 21 through the lunch hour, 23 degrees puts us just beyond seasonal, 22 is normal, but by then, that chance of showers passing through right about the time that kids would be coming home from school. And tomorrow, slightly below seasonal, just barely by a degree, but then well above normal as we're looking ahead to the weekend, and those above seasonal temperatures will continue into next week. And I was so shocked when I opened this picture. It seems so close. I'm sure it was zoomed in, but still, Solomon, my goodness, I'm glad you're safe enough to send this to us. Keep the photos coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
June 4th, 1783, the Montgolfier brothers first publicly demonstrated their hot air balloon, which did not carry any passengers, over Annonay, France. The balloon was made from paper and cloth and flew nearly 2 kilometers before it descended. The demonstration caused an international sensation. June 4th, 1988, a week-long record-breaking heat wave began in Saskatchewan and Manitoba. The heat wave was tied to one of Canada's worst drought years. Crops failed, water supplies dropped, and wildfire dangers soared across the two provinces. The summer became a defining climate event for prairie farmers. June 4th, 1989. Hundreds of people died when Chinese troops stormed Tiananmen Square in Beijing to crush a 7-week pro-democracy protest. Tanks rumbled through the streets of the capital, and the military randomly fired on unarmed protesters. The ferocity of the attack was condemned around the world. No official tally of the dead was ever released.
It's something no pet owner wants to happen. You notice your dog or cat constantly scratching themselves and then find out they have fleas. Flea bites are annoying for pets, and all that scratching can lead to other health problems. But there are ways to keep them at bay. Here's CTV's Pat Foran.
Fleas may be tiny, but they can create major problems for your pet.
Once the flea is on them, they start to chew on them, and they can actually cause what's called a hypersensitivity reaction or an allergic reaction to the saliva of the flea.
And once fleas get on your pet, it doesn't take long for them to spread throughout your home.
They'll hide in floorboards or in your carpet,
making it hard to get rid of them. So if you're dealing with fleas, Consumer Reports says it's important to act fast.
Start with your pet. Give them a bath using a mild dish soap, something like a Dawn or whatever you may have, and this will actually drown the fleas. Then you can follow up with a metal flea comb to remove any fleas that might remain in the coat.
Next, focus on your home. Vacuum carpets and furniture daily, and wash pet bedding in hot water to help destroy flea eggs and larvae. And don't forget about your yard.
Fleas love humid, shady, grassy areas, so keeping your grass short and keeping the bushes trimmed will make your yard less inviting for them.
Of course, the best way to deal with fleas is to prevent them in the first place. Your veterinarian can recommend a flea and tick treatment that's appropriate for your pet's age and size, whether that's a topical treatment or oral medication. Researchers say it's best to avoid flea collars. Some contain chemicals linked to concerning health risks for pets and even people. Following these steps can help your pet stay flea-free and keep from scratching this summer. Pat Foran, CTV News.
There's a lot of neat places to visit and explore in the Exchange District, including this business, Two Macaws. We're going to find out more about it for First Fridays in the Exchange. Stay with us. Let's go back now to Ainsley. She is hanging out in the Exchange District this morning. It's a great place to be anytime, but First Fridays of every month this summer will also be a good time to explore and try something new. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, if you haven't been to any of these local businesses, try one or more than 60 of them all on the first Friday of the month. We're at Two Macaws right now, and Noor is the owner. Tell us about what people can expect tomorrow.
So we stay open quite late. We stay open till 10 p.m. on a first Friday, and we always have something exciting going on. Tim is going to be doing his mini portraits, and Jill from Sister Silver Tarot is also going to be doing mini tarot readings. So it's a great way to get like a little message for the future. We also always have an activity called Write a Postcard to Your Future Self. So people can choose a postcard and we ship them out at a later date. It's a great way to leave a kind message for yourself. We all need a little bit or a lot of hope sometimes, and it's a great way to do that, and a great activity with friends and family as well. If you're going out on First Fridays with your friends, which I highly recommend, it is such a lovely night. It is a great way to, as you said, explore the 60-plus businesses and so many creative spaces in the Exchange. And of course, we have some great food options in the area as well. So, yeah.
And what a variety you have in store, things from all over the world.
Yeah, I moved back to Winnipeg about 2 years ago, and I wanted to bring everything I saw in the world, and the store is just that. I try and bring things that are unique to Winnipeg, that are typically not found easily elsewhere, and this summer we're focusing on an Indian summer. I grew up in India, and I wanted to bring all of that, the color, the texture, the fabrics, like the clothing I'm wearing, the jewelry, and the art. And yeah, it's just a beautiful homage to my culture and my childhood and how it integrates into my life here in Winnipeg, which is my chosen home, the city I love very, very much.
Yes, and that's why we do First Fridays in the Exchange too, to really celebrate local. So come on down tomorrow.
That is so cool. I love the space and the bricks in the background. It's beautiful. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. And it's a great way to explore different businesses that you might never have gone to before.
That's just right. I mean, a trip down to the Exchange is a day, right? You can just spend it walking around. I think a lot of folks, especially like from more of suburbs or outlying areas, you never really take the time to explore the Exchange District, but if you do, what a treat. I mean, you can eat, you can drink, you can shop, you can do it all. Yeah, and on a beautiful day like what we've got coming up, I mean, spending time outdoors and then just popping in and out of shops, how fun does that sound? It's 16 degrees right now, a beautiful start to your morning. The sun is shining, the winds are light, they'll stay that way for the most part anyway. Southeast winds are just right now 3 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 91%. Yeah, clear start to the day, plenty of sunshine for us. It was stormy last night. That activity has now moved through central Manitoba, where it still lingers and a little more way off to the east, but it's way off to the the east now. Northern Manitoba, beautiful sunny day for you. This is where things will be the most active through most of the day, is through central Manitoba. But later on this afternoon, we could see just a brief trickle shower passing through part of that system as it kind of does a little bit of a wraparound motion. 23 degrees, though, will be pleasant. 22 is normal for this time of year, so we're right about what you would expect. With that possibility of a passing shower and fairly light winds, they'll be shifting out of the northwest later today to about 20 kilometers per hour and then tapering off overnight as we fall to 13 degrees. Just a few clouds tonight, but still there is a slim chance of some shower activity throughout the overnight hours. Tomorrow might be on the cloudier side, but there will certainly be pockets of sunshine at least. 21 degrees, so low 20s to kind of finish off the work week. And then all of a sudden that heat spikes up into the 30-degree range again, where we'll stay all weekend long. And even into next week, those above seasonal temperatures continue.
Thank you, Terry. RCMP are pleading with drivers to slow down on Manitoba highways. It comes amid a spate of deadly crashes. And a warning now, some of these images and videos you're about to see could be disturbing.
I keep thinking, you know, if it was me in front, what would have happened? You know, thinking all sorts of things. I'm like, I'd be dead instantly, so I wouldn't have felt it.
Winnipeg resident Shane Young was returning to Winnipeg from Kenora early Tuesday afternoon. What was supposed to be a leisurely drive home turned into a nightmare behind the wheel. About 100 yards ahead of him on Highway 17, Young saw a small car and semi-truck collide in front of him. Ontario Provincial Police said a 32-year-old Winnipeg man died in the collision. That wasn't the only fatal crash over the past several days. In just the past days, fatal crashes have been reported in or near Brandon, Roblin, and Garson, and 2 people were killed in a crash near Arborg Friday. The RCMP is reminding drivers to slow down and follow the rules of the road.
This year, from January to the end of May, we've had 23 fatal collisions, which is the same number as we had last year at this time. This year, though, we have 27 deaths, but last year we had 24 deaths at this time.
CTV News has reached out to Manitoba Public Insurance for additional information on collision statistics reported this year. We're waiting for a response. Meantime, the RCMP is reminding drivers to slow down and follow the rules of the road. Canada's allies in the Five Eyes Intelligence Agency are warning about China using job postings for spying.
There are significant threats coming from China when it comes to foreign interference, espionage, national and economic security, and this alert is just a reminder that those are continuing.
According to the joint alert, China is using professional networking sites like LinkedIn, Indeed, and Upwork to gather intelligence. These fake job postings are used to target former military or government workers who may have access to classified information. This comes as China and Canada work toward a reset after years of strained relations. CSIS warns academics, journalists, freelance writers, and think tank employees could also be targeted. Ford is recalling 14,000 vehicles in Canada because of a seatbelt issue. The recall includes certain Ford Expedition and Lincoln Navigator vehicles with model years 2018 through 2022. The issues involve seatbelts that may lock inadvertently, not allowing them to retract or extend. A River Heights area high school is getting a new gym. The Winnipeg School Division is seeking a contractor to build an addition to Kelvin High School's gymnasium. It would be located in the field next to the existing building and would attach to the 2017 addition. The plan includes 2 change rooms, showers, a lobby, along with storage and office areas. A letter within the proposal also mentions the installation of a rubberized surface to the existing track and new goal posts for the field. The province committed money for design work on the project in last year's budget. The deadline for applications is June 26th. Need an idea for a gift for mom? Well, this is a good one.
My Christmas gift for my son was this little lunchbox, and in the lunchbox was a note saying lunch for life.
9 Christmases ago, Ed from Nova Scotia gave his mom, Georgie, a gift promising lunch for life. Life gets busy, so Ed and Georgie made it a point to spend time with each other. Through cancer treatments and through lockdowns, Ed kept his promise to his mom. 102 lunches later, they're still going strong. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on Sherbourne Street. Both north and southbound curb lanes will be closed from Portage to Westminster Avenue. The northbound curb lane on Lipton Street will be closed between Wolseley and Westminster. And the northbound curb lane on Yonge Street will be closed from Ellis to Sargent Avenue. Let's look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.59. It's a small drop from yesterday. And the lowest price in the city is $1.49. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
For all those who play team sports, check out this contest. We're giving away 25 $100 Chicken Chef gift cards with draws every week from May 25th to July 17th. Tell us your most memorable fun team moment, attach a picture, and you will be entered into the draw. Shauna shared this moment of her son playing for the West Kildonan Wolverines for grade 10-11. They won this game in 2021. Your picture and story could also be featured on our show. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form with your answer. Good luck.
Your Manitoba sports team moment brought to you by Chicken Chef, where memories are made.
Here's a look outside right now. It is sunny, 16 degrees. More Your Morning Winnipeg after this break.
It is beautiful outside this morning. 16 degrees, plenty of sunshine. Soak that up. Well, actually, the sunshine is starting to soak up some of that water. Those puddles got pretty big after last night's rain. Southeast winds on the lighter side, just 3 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 91%. It is beautiful out there, balmy. It's going to get hot. Well, I shouldn't say it's going to get hot, but we've got high humidity today, so already it feels warm out there. Certainly warmer than it feels here in our studio. We're freezing today, my goodness. All right, showers through the central part of the province and all those little lightning bolts firing off, showing that things are still very active through the central part of the province. Up in the far north, clear conditions, and for the moment, that's the case here in the south as well. With those clear conditions will come some very nice temperatures, mid to high teens all throughout that most northern stretch, but where the active weather is, it will be a little bit cooler. So soggy 9 degrees expected over in Island Lake. Norway House 13 degrees and also expecting to see some of that precipitation. Even the Paw still could see some scattered showers, but further into the north, up in Lynn Lake, 21 degrees for you. That'll be pleasant for sure. Cooler where the heavier clouds are hanging around. Sunshine gets a little bit warmer, but still slightly below seasonal, 22 being that normal daytime high. So we're not quite going to get there through the southwestern part of the province. Here in the southeast, we might do just a little bit better at 23 expected. There's a slim chance, but it is slim, of seeing some showers passing through again later on today in areas just north of us, though. You're kind of in that more central stretch, so precipitation still will be very active for you, and areas off to the east have still been seeing a little bit of action as well. Now, the rest of this week, low 20s expected, but if you're waiting for the heat, you only have to wait until the weekend, because by Saturday, the sun is shining. Mercury on the rise. We're up into those low 30s throughout the weekend, with some possible storms developing later Sunday, but the above seasonal temperatures will continue throughout next week.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go back now to Ainsley, who's in the exchange of the district this morning. Tomorrow is Friday, of course. It's the first Friday of the month. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. What a privilege it is to be spending the morning out here on Albert Street, this iconic exchange district, from the architecture to the food. Nora's joining me now. She's one of the business owners here. Tell us about why the exchange is such a vibrant area, specifically for First Fridays.
I always like to make the comparison. It feels like we're a big city one night a day, but we still get the charm of Winnipeg, of being in this area, which has so much history. Like, we're located in the Telegram building, which in itself is built in 1882, and that just blows my mind. There's so much heritage and culture in this district, and the creative scene, everything just speaks for itself as well.
When it comes to First Fridays, you've got over 60 businesses participating. What does that mean for foot traffic in the area?
Oh, it is incredible. A lot of people are often worried about safety, or kind of feeling that how it's going to be, but it is incredibly busy, and the streets are full and very, very lively. It is my absolute favorite day of the month. as a business that's been in business for about a year. Like, we opened on First Fridays. I absolutely love it. Yeah.
And when it comes to how late it goes, it kind of pushes the extended hours of when people would typically stop by.
Yes. Like at 10, we've had to kind of absolutely be like, okay, sorry, we have to close, because it's still like it's so lively. Like, people are out, and it's just so good to see Winnipeg that vibrant and just awake.
And again, stressing local vendors, local products, local artists, local food.
Yes, and there's so many, like even just on Albert Street itself, we have like Ocean Bites that's right across from us. That's a great new business that opened. We have some incredible galleries. We have Habibi's actually that's opening tomorrow for First Fridays as well. So we have like so many new local businesses that are opening up, and it is just great to see that for the city.
That's awesome, especially when there's a new business. You're sitting there going, oh, what is that? I literally walked into Ocean Bites the other day. It's an adorable Ukrainian couple that's selling sushi. I just love Winnipeg.
Thank you, Ainsley. Energy experts are expecting the price of gasoline to remain steady as the week comes to an end, while uncertainty of a deal between the U.S. and Iran continue to rattle the oil and gas market. Joining us now to tell us more is CTV's Kamil Karamali. Good morning, Kamil.
Hey, good morning, Rochelle. Good to see you again.
You too. Thanks for joining us. Now, gas prices continue shifting in Canada as uncertainty of a deal between the U.S. and Iran clouds the oil and gas market. Break down the price of gas for us across the U.S. or across the country.
Yeah, that's right, Rochelle. I'm not coming to you bearing good news this morning, because we did see a bit of reprieve on those gas prices. But now today and tomorrow expected to continue to go up. It will stay steady for the next couple of days, but it is a major increase from what we saw earlier this week. Just showing you some of the highest gas prices across the country, with BC steadily at over $2 per liter. But you have St. John's and Charlottetown as well. Parts of the East Coast seeing close to $2 per liter. So this was all, we saw a decrease in the prices because there was hope that a peace deal could be reached between Iran and the U.S. We know that's been causing the global oil markets and prices to shift. But you know, we're seeing still some lower prices in Alberta. That's usually where we see some of the lower prices in the country, but still $1.60 per liter. Now, just to compare it to what it was even on Tuesday, I mean, Winnipeg, for example, it is $1.66 right now in Winnipeg, but it was $1.64 yesterday, and 2 days ago $1.59. So already seeing a bump up of 7 cents per liter in your city, Rochelle, and that's expected to stay steady for the next couple of days. But who knows where it'll go? It's expected to go up and continue that climb, unfortunately.
Yeah, that hurts. Now, the U.S. Energy Information Administration revealed a drop in crude oil inventories by 8 million barrels in the last week of May. Do you think that will impact our prices?
Yeah, absolutely. The answer is a resounding yes, based on experts. So what we're seeing, you mentioned 8 million barrels in terms of a shortfall in the last week of May, but overall, we've seen the actual crude inventories drop overall since the start of the Iran conflict by roughly 64 million barrels. So U.S. inventories have been drawn down for 7 straight weeks, Rochelle. So that means the fewer oil available in the global markets, the more the price is expected to go up. Right now, we're seeing barrels go up to nearly $100 U.S. per barrel, and it is expected to go even higher, about $150 per barrel. So it's just going to climb, unfortunately, for all of us, Rochelle.
A good day to fill up today. Thank you, Kamil. We appreciate your time. Celebrating a milestone today. Happy 4th anniversary, Ken and Candace. With love from your sister, Linda. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
Beautiful this morning with a high of 23 degrees today, pretty much on par with what is normal, maybe even a degree above, because 22 is in fact normal for this time of year, which is where we got to last year. Their record was a hot one though, 36 degrees back in 2021. It's not going to be that hot today. It'll be a little more pleasant. The sun is shining. It is already gorgeous out here this morning. I want to give a little shout out to Luna, who's watching every morning. Good morning, Luna. I know you're headed out for some sunshine today, so make sure you got that little hat on and those cute little shades. It is going to be beautiful today, 16 degrees, a stunning start to the morning, especially after all that rain fell last night. Now, things are going to start drying up, at least for now, because there is the possibility of some showers later on. The winds at the moment are light out of the southeast, but just 3 kilometers per hour. That breeze might in fact shift somewhat later on today, but it will stay light to moderate throughout. And the temperatures on the rise with sunshine through the morning hours, but all of that rain from last night has moved up into central Manitoba with some showers and even still some thunderstorms firing off. And we might see that system wrap around, so the possibility of getting clipped with a brief shower later this afternoon, then clearing out again by evening time. Low 20s for the rest of the week, so a little bit cooler than it's been, but that heat is going to be ramping up all throughout the weekend.
Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS, is a neuromuscular disease that is progressive and fatal, and there is no cure. According to the ALS Society of Manitoba, more than 3,000 Canadians live with ALS, and more than 430 of those are here in Manitoba. June is ALS month. It's meant to raise awareness and money to fight back against the disease. Joining us now from the ALS Society of Manitoba is Diana Rasmussen. Good morning, Diana.
Good morning. Good morning. It's nice to be with you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now tell us what ALS is exactly and what it does.
Okay, so ALS, or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, quite the mouthful, but ALS for short, is a relentless, progressive, fatal motor neuron disease, and eventually leads to the loss of ability to move, to speak, to breathe. And the disease can move with quite a startling swiftness, and 4 out of 5 people die within 2 to 5 years of their diagnosis. So it's really quite a relentless disease. So,
do they know what causes it?
There is no known cause. There's really lots of thoughts about what might cause it, and also there is no cure, and there are only 2 medications available at this point in time that help marginally with the disease. So these folks that are diagnosed go through so much from their diagnosis as they travel on their journey with ALS, and that's why we're here to support them and try to bring hope and also work with them to meet some of their needs in the community.
The effect on families, it's just devastating, isn't it?
It is. This is a disease that affects everybody, the client obviously, but family, children. We have people who have very young children and babies, and so we work with everybody and try to make their lives the best that it can be and bring some quality of life. And we do that through our support groups, but we also do it through activities as well. And we have one today.
Okay, so tell us about why it's important to raise awareness and money for the disease right now. And you have a fundraising walk to do just that. Tell us a little bit more about the importance of that.
The compounding impact on families is emotional, financial, and psychological, and it's really tremendous. So a lot of families need extra support, and what we try to do is that we try to bring to them some joy in their life, but by doing that, we bring together families who are also experiencing the effects of ALS or have had somebody in their family. And some of the events that we do just that. And like tonight, we're having an event. It's called ALS Lou Gehrig's Night, the Gold Eyes game. And we do this annually. And it brings together families and friends. And also, Lou Gehrig obviously died at a very young age of 37 with ALS. And so all around in the United States, they celebrated in the last couple of days this gentleman and his great baseball career. And so we have partnered with the Gold Eyes, and we do this annually to not only celebrate Lou Gehrig's night, but bring together all our families and clients and try to have a wonderful, fun evening, and also raise dollars to help with equipment, things that clients need, help with research, activities. All of these things are really important. It's a very, very costly disease. It really is. And even the medications cost a lot. Government supports some of it, but some of the medications they have to pay out of pocket as well. So they need help in every way they can. So we try to help by doing these events. And we have another one coming up. June, of course, is ALS Awareness Month across the country.
Yep.
And actually, there are 3,000 to 4,000 people in Canada right now living with ALS. The numbers are increasing, and the numbers are increasing here in Manitoba as well.
Okay, well, Diana, if people want to support you or join in on the walk, we have a link on our website with more information to do so. Thank you, Diana.
Yes. Thank you.
Community Connection is brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Born to be a hero, trained to be a plumber.
Hello there, Matt Scooby inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. For it, we will head to the pitch, an international friendly between Poland and Nigeria. Poland down a goal in the 5th minute of extra time. How about Przemysław Wisniewski unleashes the incredible strike from way outside the box to tie the match at 2 in the final moments. A beautiful goal is your must-see moment from Wednesday. And tonight, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. The new CFL season kicks off with Thursday Night Football as the Alouettes take on the Tiger Cats. It all starts at 7 p.m. Eastern across the TSN network. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Thursday, June the 4th. Overdose response. How much will the province spend to put a dedicated paramedic team on the streets in response to Winnipeg's ongoing drug crisis? Is Canada in a recession? The Prime Minister and the opposition leaders spar in the House of Commons over the state of the country's economy. And you've heard of billionaires, but could someone on the planet soon become the first trillionaire? It might happen as the space pioneer's net worth may be about to rocket. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. It's 8 o'clock on your Thursday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now at 8:15, we're going to have the Downtown Winnipeg Biz join us to tell us how they're getting ready for summer. There's all kinds of fun activities planned, so we're going to have details on that. But the weather, it's hot. You'll want to be outside today.
Yeah, it's beautiful outside, and if you come on down, they're going to talk about that beautiful street right outside our station that's got a fresh coat of paint on it. And then, of course, it got a nice little wash down, but it didn't disappear. The sun's shining over it now. Beautiful start to your morning. It's 16 degrees with southeast winds, 3 kilometers per hour. The pressure falling, the humidity sitting at 91%. Actually, those winds probably just starting to shift now and increase. I was just noticing a bit more of a breeze when I was upstairs on the rooftop 10 minutes ago. Activity still showing up on the central part of the province through the satellite image right now, and you can still see those lightning bolts firing off. So a few places still with some thunderstorms passing through. Clear up north and here in the south. And for the most part, plenty of sunshine expected all day long across northern Manitoba, but here in the south we might see just the brief bit of passing shower activity for later on this afternoon, and then all of this continues to push further off to the east for the evening overnight. Heavier clouds through that central part of the province. We're on the clearer side, but we might see just a few extra clouds and possibly a shower in the overnight hours, although those chances are very slim. Seasonal temperature is expected to last through the rest of this week. So if you've not been a fan of the heat, make the most of the next couple of days. If you are a fan of the heat, you only have to wait until the weekend before we're feeling it all over again with the mercury on the rise up into those low 30s with some storms perhaps by Sunday night, and warm temperatures expected to continue into the start of next week. And our art today is so cool. I can't quite tell. I think it might be painted beans, but I'm not entirely sure. Either way, I love the creativity here, Medicine. Thanks for sharing your art with us, and please keep sending it through our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and when you do, you're entered to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kennison.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle. Spend quality time with loved ones and paint memories together.
The province is taking aim at Winnipeg's drug overdose crisis. It's spending more than $800,000 on a pilot project with the Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service. It's creating a pilot mobile overdose response team. The two-person paramedic team will be available 24/7 to respond to overdose calls in high-needs areas like downtown Winnipeg and shelters. The province is also spending $150,000 on 20 oxygen delivery devices, which can help with overdoses in situations when naloxone may not work. Another $100,000 is being allocated to support first aid and overdose response training through St. John's Ambulance and the Manitoba Harm Reduction Network.
We hope to, of course, save lives, help the frontline responders with their calls for service. We have a number of, ambulances, fire trucks responding in and around that area. So this is meant to help alleviate some of that pressure on the number of calls for service in that area.
This 3-month-long pilot project is set to begin this month. A new report paints a complicated picture of incidents at the city's largest library so far this year. Data shows the total number of incidents at Millennium Library, which includes everything from medical events, harassment, and vandalism, are down 35% in the first quarter compared to 2025. But the Public Service notes this could be due to a combination of factors. The number of total visitors dropped 15.5%. Buses are no longer traveling down Graham Avenue, and the library began barring people from entering if they've been involved in repeated incidents. And even though there were fewer people and fewer incidents overall, the number of calls to police rose from 13 last year to 35. The report will be presented at the next Community Services meeting Tuesday. Prime Minister Mark Carney and Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre faced off during question period about the state of our economy.
So will he stand in the House and answer the question, are we in a recession or a technical recession?
We are in an economy that is fundamentally being transformed by a government that has a plan, to create a stronger, more independent, more resilient economy.
StatsCan data says the economy entered a technical recession after 2 straight quarters of slight decline. A new outlook from the OECD says Canada's GDP is expected to rebound later this year. The U.S. is calling on its NATO allies to step up with contributions. President Donald Trump is expected to make that clear during a leaders' summit next month.
The president himself will be attending the next NATO meeting of heads of state, where all these points will be made clear. We're still in NATO, but NATO needs significant changes, and the president has made that clear. And he's very disappointed in NATO.
A top U.S. general says NATO will have to do more to take care of its own air defense as the U.S. plans to scale back. That could mean cuts to refueling aircraft, fighter jets, drones, and naval ships. The U.S. has not said when it will start pulling back. NATO leaders will be in Turkey next month for their summit. For people thinking of getting in on the SpaceX IPO, we now have a better idea on how much it will cost. SpaceX has set a suggested price of $135 U.S. per share. That puts the company's valuation at $1.75 trillion U.S. That doesn't mean that is the price shares will trade at. That is decided by the market. The stock is expected to start trading on June 12th in what could be the biggest IPO ever. Depending on how the stock trades, it could make Elon Musk a trillionaire. A new landmark is now part of the Vancouver skyline, and the people behind it are hoping it will soon be recognized by Guinness World Records. This giant Canadian flag is on display at Grouse Mountain. The resort says it's the largest flag ever set up on a mountain in Canada. It was installed as part of an effort to welcome visitors ahead of the FIFA World Cup and is roughly the size of 2 football fields. We want to tell you now about a 1054 on the I-95. A 1054 is police code for animal on the roadway. The I-95 is one of the busiest highways in the United States, but that didn't stop police in Maryland from halting traffic for this gaggle of geese. Deputies, along with some good Samaritans, gently guided the family off the roadway and into the woods. Here's a look at what's happening now on Donald Street. Things look like they're moving quite well over here. We have no issues to tell you about in this part of the city. If you see anything out there, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, hanging out in the Exchange District this morning. First Fridays in the Exchange is happening tomorrow. Hi, Ainsley.
Hi, what a blast bringing so many people into the Exchange District, the iconic Exchange District. We're in two macaws right now, and Noor's joining me once again. Experiences are all part of it, and we actually had portraits done, self-portraits done this morning. That's what people can expect for First Fridays.
Yes, and it's such a great time to explore activities like this and experience something new, something different in this city, because there are so many creative people in little studios tucked in buildings you wouldn't otherwise know. But the First Fridays map, which you can find on their socials and on their website, gives a great guideline to where one should go, what to expect, and it is such a lovely way to spend a June evening. We have such great weather this weekend, and yeah, the portraits are one of the many activities that will be on. And as you said, there's 60 plus businesses and creative studios that will be open tomorrow, and they are open till 9, so it's also great if you're working till 5, looking for a fun little activity to do or to just walk if you're in the downtown area. We will also be having mini tarot readings in our tarot room as well, and we are also doing an Indian summer at the store, so lots of clothing, breathable fabrics, perfect for this weather.
And you travel around the world and basically pick the best for Manitobans.
Yes, absolutely. I look at things when I'm traveling. I'm like, Winnipeg needs a little bit of this, a lot of that, and things, and I kind of bring them all in this one space, and that includes experiences. Because the world has so much to offer, and so does Winnipeg, so I try to kind of add to that experience, and especially on events like First Fridays, because it's such a great way to see the community show up, because I love to say that Winnipeg always shows up, and First Fridays is just the time to see that happen in real life. So if you feel like don't know where to go for Winnipeg, First Fridays is absolutely the best event off there. So.
Well, you sold it to me. A nice weather, maybe a sip and shop. Back to you guys.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. For all those who play team sports, check out this contest. We're giving away 25 $100 Chicken Chef gift cards with draws every week from May 25th to July 17th. Tell us your most memorable fun team moment, attach a picture, and you will be entered into the draw. Shauna shared this moment of her son playing for the West Kildonan Wolverines for grade 10-11. They won this game in 2021. Your picture and your story could also be featured on our show. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form with your answer. Good luck.
Your Manitoba sports team moment brought to you by Chicken Chef, where memories are made.
Looking through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Yeah, beautiful start to your day. We have not even been able to see clouds out there. Absolutely stunning, blue sky, and it's starting to warm up. I know there were plenty of puddles from last night, but already the patio upstairs on our rooftop is beginning to dry up. No surprise with how these temperatures have been on the rise. Now 18 degrees here in Winnipeg, seeing similar temperatures mid to high teens all across southern Manitoba. A little bit cooler through the more central stretch. That's where there's still some clouds and a little bit of rain. I'll show you the satellite image in a second. Further that you go up into northern Manitoba, though, blue sky, sunshine, and a beautiful day ahead. So yes, for northern Manitoba, the sun is going to shine for you. And then there's the active weather through the more central part of the province. Still some thunderstorms firing off. Clear for us for now. That could change as kids get into the classroom. 19 degrees expected, 21 through the lunch hour. 22, by the way, is normal for this time of year. We'll surpass it only slightly, with the possibility of some scattered showers for later on this afternoon. Now, 23 today, 21 for tomorrow. So if you're not a fan of the extreme heat, perhaps you love the more seasonal temperatures. We will enjoy that sunshine today, that chance of showers, and then a few more clouds expected for tomorrow, but sunshine back in full force Saturday, bringing the heat with it. Look at that, low 30s throughout the weekend. By Sunday afternoon, though, later into the day, possibility of some storms. And from there, we'll see those temperatures settle ever so slightly before they're on the rise again. We've got that heat sticking around all throughout next week. We want you to stick around because we're coming back with more Your Morning Winnipeg.
The Canadian government has directed the country's broadcasting regulator to review its recent decision to triple mandatory contributions from large foreign streaming services to Canadian content production, a move that had drawn sharp criticism from U.S. industry groups. In a statement on Wednesday, the government called for a reversal of the move and noted that Culture Minister Mark Miller has instead announced $600 million in annual direct federal funding to support the sector. A growing number of Americans are searching for properties in Canada as they consider seeking refuge north of the border. A new report from the Canadian real estate company Royal LePage says U.S.-originated sessions on the company's website have spiked throughout the first half of 2026. Broadcom shares fell in extended trading after the company delivered a disappointing forecast for artificial intelligence chip revenue, signaling its efforts to gain ground in the burgeoning industry are going more slowly than anticipated. AI semiconductor revenue will be $16 billion in the fiscal third quarter, missing the $17.2 billion estimate. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Winnipeg's downtown is about to heat up with a lot of summer fun. The Downtown Winnipeg Biz is launching a new initiative called Downtown Live that'll bring in lots of entertainment and energy to the area. And joining us now to tell us more about what's up this summer in the downtown is Olivia Bilson. Good morning, Olivia.
Good morning.
Thank
it's so good to be here.
Well, it's great to have you, and it's so nice to know that summer is almost here officially.
Yes.
It's on the 21st, but you're getting ready to have a lot of people out and about in the downtown area. Tell us what's going on.
We absolutely are. As you mentioned, we just launched a brand new program. It's called Downtown Live. Kind of think about, Canadian Idol, but a little bit more of a fun twist, sort of our own twist. So we've launched that program. It is designed to support local artists and create ongoing energy throughout all of our public spaces downtown. So it kind of kicks off, it's two phases. The first phase is a live audition event taking place on Saturday, June 27th at that brand new plaza just outside the Burton Cummings Theatre. And so folks will have a chance to audition in front of live judges, a live audience, to be part of a curated roster of artists who will be able to perform at all of our public spaces throughout downtown.
So should they write a new song, or can they sing a song they already have?
You know what, we're looking for all kinds of talent. So young, youth, emerging, established, a little weird, a little unexpected, sort of that street performance style, some storytelling, you name it. We really are looking for all kinds of talent. And so folks can register on our website to be part of that audition phase. And as mentioned, they'll perform in front of a panel of judges, in front of the audience, to be part of that curated roster going forward.
And then whoever is selected will get a chance to even play at the Burt Block Party.
That's right. So there will be prizes for each category throughout that audition period, and one lucky winner will get a chance to perform at the Burt Block Party. We know that that's a really great signature summer event. That event draws in over 15,000 people downtown over the course of that 4-day period. So we're really excited to partner with True North to provide someone that opportunity.
And of course, their plaza is in the midst of getting fixed up right now. So that will be ready, and it will really change the look of that area.
It will, crews are working around the clock. It is expected to open in the next few weeks, and our Downtown Live audition event sort of will be the very first event hosted in that brand new plaza. So we're really excited.
Okay, Graham Avenue just got a brand new paint job. So it's close to the public. It's just for people who are pedestrians, not drivers. But so it's a fresh new look, and more people in the downtown area. So what will be happening along that strip?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, a fresh new coat of paint. Our team has also put out all of our new street furniture. So there's picnic tables, there's ping pong tables. So folks, if you're down here on your lunch break, you can go for a nice walk and enjoy some of the facilities along there. And of course, our downtown farmers market is returning for the summer season. That's going to kick off on June 25th. It'll take place every other Thursday, and it's actually going to take place along Graham Avenue this summer.
Oh, fun. It's always one of my favorite things is the farmers market. Let's talk about some of the other things going on. You have dim sum tours.
Yes, back by popular demand. That one's, we partner with Carter Chen. We do that once a month. It takes place in Chinatown. Those tickets go on sale a few weeks before each event. Always sell it really fast, so be sure to follow us along on social media.
What else is happening?
We've got our Downtown Downtown Family Movie Night. That's going to take place on the last Friday in August over at Bonnie Castle Park. That's a really fun event. And as well, we support a lot of third-party events through our Host It Downtown Grant program. We've got Pride Festival happening this weekend. You know, you can expect to see tens of thousands of people downtown. Our team supports the Sea Bears pregame party outside of True North Square. So those are really great events. We've got Brunch Fest, Bike to Work Week.
Oh my gosh.
Lots going on.
Lots going on in the downtown. You have no reason not to come and check it out for yourself. Thank you, Olivia, for sharing this with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and what a great time to be downtown with that freshly painted street. The way it's shining in the sunshine this morning. Looks like a great place to take my coffee after the show today. 18 degrees. You'll certainly be able to warm up if you're outside anyway. So yeah, come on down and enjoy a little bit of outdoor time. West winds are 9 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling. The humidity sitting at 83%. The sun is shining out here this morning. Looking absolutely gorgeous. Plenty of sunshine and blue sky. But we still could see some showers. Where the precipitation is this morning, I mean, you probably heard it or saw it last night. All of that has moved now into central Manitoba, where there's still some showers and even some thunderstorms firing off this morning. And that system might wrap around and clip us again later on this afternoon. So there is the possibility, though it might be slim, a possibility of some showers passing through briefly this afternoon. Seasonal temperatures expected all throughout southern Manitoba. For northern Manitoba, it might be an above seasonal day for many of you with plenty of sunshine. Temperatures will be on the rise throughout the north. It's central Manitoba with the precipitation today, but even that will be tapering off by evening time. Just a few clouds. What are we looking at? That's me! Well, I shouldn't be so excited. I've been on TV for 15 years, but this is cool. Look at, where is that? Where is that coming from? Live Eye. Oh, hi, Live Eye. Look, I don't even know where our cameras are, but look, you can see me. You can see me. Look, I'm on TV. 19 degrees, 22 through the midday, and 23 are expected high. Hey, look at this. What an incredible shot of this bear just coming at you. Thanks to Solomon, who was brave enough to snap it and then thought to share it with us. Send your pics to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca.
Weather is brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. Research at bbb.org before you buy.
One of my favorite faces to have back on the show, fashion and style expert Natalie Sexton joining us this morning. Good to see you again, Nat.
Oh, it's always great to see you, Terry.
Okay, we're moving into a new season now. Things are heating up, and of course that always means new wardrobe choices, but sometimes it's actually what people don't see that can make the biggest difference to that look, right?
You got it. I mean, as a stylist now for over 20 years, I always have said that it's about the foundation of your look. That's what we're going to feel, the comfort that's going to make our outfit look better. It's going to make us feel better. So I am sharing Shapermint with you today. You'll find all of these pieces at shapermint.com. And I want to think of this as like your capsule shapewear wardrobe for summer.
Okay.
So first up, we're going to start off. I'm actually wearing the first piece that I'm talking about. And this is their all day, everyday scoop neck cami. So the thing that I love about this, Cherry, is it's such a versatile piece. So we can start off at the office wearing this, like in the classic black or white. It's also available in a bunch of beautiful colors too. But we can layer a blazer over top, a cardigan over top, but then take this into the evening and just remove that top layer. And then it's a really cute top, you know, for patio dinner, what have you. It's got really beautiful tummy control shaping. It's got the adjustable straps as well. It's not gonna, you know, bunch up and roll around on you. It stays put and feels like second skin. And that's really key to having beautiful shapewear. We almost want to forget that we're wearing it, and you're gonna step into it, which is kind of a cool way to put it on. So it's gonna sculpt. We're gonna be able to get the straps on comfortably and not be fussing with it, trying to wrestle it over our head.
Of course, absolutely. So you mentioned you've got a capsule for us. This is just kind of one of 3 key pieces that you're talking about today.
Absolutely. So here's one that I get asked about all the time, and these are my go-to, and especially great in the summer months as things are heating up and we're wearing those cute little summer dresses that can be see-through also, and we're not doing slips anymore. So I want you to try the all-day, everyday high-waisted shaper shorts. These are so comfy. They have a silicone band around the top as well, so we're not going to be worried about them rolling up and down. And they're comfortable to get on and off. Like I said earlier, the idea for me in having great shapewear is that we don't want to feel like we're wearing shapewear. So this, again, is that buttery soft feel, available in black, available in nude colorways as well. They also are great for helping to prevent thigh chafing, which is a problem for all women, especially in those warmer months. So we're going to be comfortable and we're going to have a beautiful, sleek fit.
Very nice. All right. So our third key piece then is what, Nat?
Okay, so we've got to talk about the bra. So here's something I hear from women all the time is, where can I find an amazing strapless bra? So again, from Shapermint, this is their convertible strapless bandeau bra. So it does have removable straps, clear ones, and of course the color of the bra. This is beautiful, Terry, because there's no wires digging in. It's got the silicone band, again, to keep everything in place. Beautiful for all those strapless and one shoulder dresses like you're seeing me wearing there. We love this bra because you get home, you forget you're wearing it. It's not the moment of thinking, I can't wait to take this off.
We all know that. Yeah.
Right? Every woman knows that. This is one where you're like, oh, actually, I think I might keep this on. You'll see this styled all over my Instagram as well, with lots of different styling inspo to help you out. And I also have a promo code. So it's it's ShapeNat20. So you'll get a discount at checkout so you can stock up.
I love that. A little incentive, and how perfect for all of those summer dresses. What a great way to be able to stay comfortable through it all and look so good too. Natalie, thanks so much for joining us. Always great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Here's a look outside now. Kennison and Sterling Lion Way. It looks like things are moving well over in this part of the city. We're taking a break now. We'll be right back after this.
A beautiful start to your morning. 18 degrees. Yeah, it's warming up already. We've got west winds 9 kilometers per hour. The pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 83% with blue sky and sunshine over us. A nice change up from the precipitation that rolled through last night. My goodness, those storms, second night in a row for it. Waking up to puddles, wet streets, wet lawns, but that'll be drying up quickly. Already I'm noticing my rooftop, the water beginning to evaporate somewhat, drying up with the sun shining over us. Clear conditions here in the south and clear across northern Manitoba as well. However, those storms from last night still lingering through central Manitoba this morning, and you can still see a few of those lightning bolts firing off as well. We could see those showers kind of wrapping around again and possibly clipping us again later this afternoon, but it'll be brief if we do in fact see it at all. Sunshine through the morning hours, clearing out again after that possibility of mid-afternoon showers, and 23 degrees on tap for us today, which will feel warm already because of that humidity. 18 is already feeling a little bit warm because we've got that sun just beating down on us. Well, 13 degrees is where we'll drop to overnight, still above seasonal. 9 would be a normal low, and we'll do it with, again, that possibility of showers, although it's pretty slim chance overnight. And then for tomorrow, we might have a few extra clouds hanging around, but still some pockets of sunshine to enjoy and pleasant temperatures overall. It's not going to be hot, but it's going to get hot. So if heat isn't your thing, enjoy the next couple of days with these low 20 temperatures to finish off the work week, and then the heat really coming back again, timed out to hit for the weekend. So 30 degrees, plenty of sunshine on Saturday. Sunday, going to be another hot one as well, with the potential for some storms developing later on into the day. From there, we'll dip slightly for the start of next week, but still remaining above seasonal, and it won't be long before the mercury is on the rise again.
Concerns are emerging over possible funding cuts to groups helping a vulnerable population. At risk is work addressing the 231 calls to justice stemming from the National Inquiry into Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls. Federally funded initiatives are seeing support cut in half after peaking at $3.7 billion in 2024-25, down to $1.8 billion this fiscal year. This is according to a joint report from the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives and the National Family and Survivors Circle. The Survivors Circle is worried about the impact this will have on people's lives.
The calls for justice are built on inherent and human rights of Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit and gender diverse people, and should never be on political agendas. That there should be long-term, substantive commitments made to ensuring that they're fully implemented and that it's a whole of government approach.
A statement from Crown Indigenous Affairs says federal-led initiatives made progress on 163 of the calls to justice this year. It also pointed to other supports such as funding anti-racism medical training, new transitional homes, and Indigenous-led justice programs. Some airlines are saying fuel supplies will not be an issue during the busy summer travel season. Air Canada sent out an email to customers saying the airline does not anticipate any significant impact through the summer. This comes after Lufthansa sent out a similar message last week saying fuel supply is stable and summer is good to go. After the Iran war started back in April, there were warnings that Europe would run out of jet fuel in 6 weeks. Lufthansa says increased imports from North America and higher production in Europe have helped ease the strain. Alberta's Premier Danielle Smith was in Quebec Wednesday to forge closer ties between the provinces. The Premier wants more collaboration on manufacturing, trade, and energy, but both provinces face votes that could lead to independence referendums. CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin reports.
Alberta Premier Danielle Smith dropped in for a visit to Quebec, talking up an alliance between the provinces, even coining a term for it.
Alberbec or Caberta. So that's, I think, just an expression of, I think, already the fact that we work together so well.
Smith says the two provinces have had their differences, but have more in common than not. A potential vote on separation, for one. Both provinces are set for votes in October that could pave the way to trigger a referendum. And both premiers say that no is best to a referendum, at least for now.
I'm here to show all Albertans, especially those who feel otherwise, that Canada can work for all of us. And that is why I'm here today. I am here to build new linkages as our two provinces, Alberta and Quebec, Queberta, I guess we're calling it, truly model the ideals our country was built on.
Smith says she believes Alberta and Quebec can forge closer bonds to boost manufacturing, improve trade between provinces, but she also touched on a sensitive issue in Quebec, energy production, and the potential for an east-west energy corridor.
Creating those interties so that we can move that power to where it's needed, I think is really at the start of ensuring that everybody has the power that they need to grow at affordable prices.
And while Smith says she wasn't looking to Quebec for tips on how to convince Albertans to vote to remain in Canada, she would be looking at what she called the province's wisdom on gaining more autonomy from the federal government. Smith said she would encourage Alberta businesses to invest in Quebec and continue to push for closer ties. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Quebec City.
Here's a look at what's happening now on Osborne Street. Things are moving well here. We have no issues to tell you about. Let's look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.59. It's a small drop from yesterday, and the lowest price in the city is $1.49. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
It's time now for your answers to our question of the day. Today is National Cheese Day, so we asked, what's your favorite cheese or cheesy dish? Mina's Fresh Cow cheese is Marlene's favorite. Susan says, I love macaroni and cheese in the oven. James shared, I like to microwave cheese over a plate full of Ritz crackers. It's tasty. For Lyndon, double Gloucester cheese, hard to get in Western Manitoba. Favorite cheese dish for Craig is nachos with cheese sauce. Amber texted, good old cheddar cheese with a handful of sweet, crunchy grapes. Nachos and cheese for Caroline. April likes stag chili dip with lots of melted old cheddar cheese on top. Phoebe loves cheddar and Felicity loves marble. Sylvie's favorite cheeses are Parmesan, Brie, and Swiss. German butter cheese for Debbie. Tracy says cheesy beef taco bake. It's basically a taco cake. For today's, a couple of favorites are smoked Gouda and Gruyere while having a raclette dinner. Sharon shared homemade mac and cheese is the best, and Chris's favorite cheesy dish is the macaroni and cheese casserole that his mom used to make when he was a kid. Now as an adult, he makes it always a hit, he says. Thank you so much for your responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live in the Exchange District this morning. Tomorrow is the first Friday of the month, and it's First Fridays in the Exchange. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, it's going to be a delightful weekend. We're live from the Soul Gallery. Julie Walsh joins us now from this fantastic space. Tell us a little bit about it.
Thank you for being here. That's the first thing I want to say. Soul Gallery has been in business for 15 years. I've been selling art since 2000, though. This gallery represents 30 artists, half of which are local artists. And currently, on the walls of the main gallery, we are exhibiting a solo exhibition by Lisa Johnson. And so this will be up for First Friday, which is exciting. She gets that exposure. We have a lot of events that happen here at Soul Gallery, and coming up soon, we're having a garden party in the gallery. So I have pulled out a few florals and lake scenes and beach scenes that will be on display during that time. So Soul Gallery represents a high caliber of contemporary fine art. Paintings, a very diverse collection of art and sculpture, and people from across the country are finding us. More importantly, Winnipeggers are finding us because of First Friday in the Exchange being a really key time for people to come out, enjoy this part of the city, enjoy our life here, enjoy this arts community and great shops. So we're really grateful for First Fridays in the Exchange. We invite you out. It's a great evening. Summer is blooming, and so is the gallery at Soul Gallery.
Mm-hmm. And bringing together even some local art as well.
Yes, half of our artists are local. We just received work from Holly Ann Friesen, Jane Boyd, Jane Gateson, Tim Shoughton, Catherine Bruce, Keith Wood, who else? Phil Brake. And it's just a very diverse collection of art, by our local artists.
Thank you so much. I certainly hope people come down to the garlic. Why am I thinking about garlic so early in the morning? To the gallery for First Fridays in the Exchange.
Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop. Yesterday, Terry, I went to get my hair done, and I bumped into a familiar face from CTV there, Sylvia Kuzik, in the chair right next to me. Oh. She sends her wishes, her best wishes to you, and is sending you the best retirement wishes ever. She says good luck.
She was the first person I met in the building.
Yes.
Because, of course, she trained me. I was actually hired to do her job. I was trained to fill in for Sylvia Kuzik, and just by happenstance, as things played out over the next few days, they ended up launching the morning show and needing somebody there. So I transitioned from the 6 o'clock. I never actually made it to the 6 o'clock. I moved right into mornings before I ever had my chance. But yes, Sylvia Kuzik trained me to do my job. I have always felt indebted to her for my career. Oh my goodness. Yes, shout out to Sylvia. Good to hear from you again. All right, 18 degrees and I'm standing here in the sunshine. It's a beautiful start to the morning. Winds are out of the west, 9 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling. The humidity sitting at 83%. It is stunning out here. Gorgeous. It's going to be warming up. Not a hot day by any means, but seasonal. And I say that, but with the sun shining over you and very few clouds right now, it's already feeling pretty darn warm. A bit of a breeze. We might notice that increasing somewhat. And then there is the possibility of some showers passing through this afternoon. Right now, that precipitation is through central Manitoba, still lingering with some showers, a few scattered thunderstorms. Central Manitoba will be the most active weather today, but the possibility of some passing precipitation later this afternoon. Some low 20 temperatures. That's how we're going to finish out the work week. And then for those of you that love the heat, and that would be me included, it's coming back for the weekend. By Saturday and Sunday, we're up into that 30-degree range. And while we're likely to kick off the weekend with plenty of sunshine and still see it into the start of Sunday as well. Later into the day Sunday, after a full day of heat, we could be seeing those storms developing once again. So a hot and perhaps stormy weekend, but more seasonal, pleasant temperatures to enjoy if you're not a fan of the scorching temps. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
A unique scavenger hunt is taking place in Toronto ahead of the World Cup. The goal, to find 51 beaver sculptures, each designed by an artist to represent the countries taking part in the tournament. CTV's Raheem Lathani has more on the Great Beaver Quest.
Old Town Toronto often feels like a fairy tale. Maybe it's the playful dogs or the ever-still birds trying not to draw a cat's attention. And now this Narnia-like neighborhood has a new inhabitant.
I found so many beavers and they're so cute.
Not one or two or even three, but 51 beavers have ditched their dams for this urban oasis, representing nations competing in the upcoming FIFA World Cup.
I think it's a great opportunity for folks to get out there and see parts of Toronto, even if they live here.
The quirky rodents are part of a scavenger hunt put on by the Old Town Toronto BIA. Anyone can download the Great Canadian Beaver Quest app.
It's like keeping me from not being bored. It's giving me something to do when I'm walking around.
The more beavers you find and snap pics with, the greater chance you have of winning gift cards from local businesses.
I think the city trying to expand that zone of influence and keep it not just in that Liberty Village kind of area and make it a citywide thing. That's exciting.
Each lifelike sculpture is hand-painted by a local artist. This beaver is immersed within a Tunisian living landscape. The colors drawn from Tunisia's foliage and national identity.
It really shines the light on Toronto's amazing artistic scene and the amazing talent that we have across the GTA.
This contest closes on August 16th. After that, these beavers are going to be auctioned off, with the funds going towards a local charity. Raheem Lathani, CTV News, Old City, Toronto.
From baseball to hockey, tennis, and even boxing, award-winning Winnipeg-born sports broadcaster Rod Black has covered them all. Black's voice, his face, his love for Canadian sports are iconic. He started his career right here at the station back when it was known as CKY TV at the age of 19 years, covering local sports, and in 2008 he was inducted into the Manitoba Sports Writers and Sportcasters Association Media Roll of Honor. Black has just released a new book about his life and his sports career. It's titled Cut to Black. And it's a bestseller as well. Joining us now is award-winning sportscaster Rod Black. Good morning, Rod.
Nice to see you.
You too. Thanks
Michelle,
so much for coming here.
You forgot the subtitle for the book.
What is it?
A Legendary Life in Sports and Maybe a Few Beers. And if you, hey, listen, I'm from Transcona. We're in Winnipeg, and they're probably actually changed that to maybe a lot of beers.
Well, if you worked with this crew back in the day at CKY.
It's much different than it used to be, and now you got to tell them we didn't have any of that back then.
Well,
I think we're pretty much black and white.
Take us back to the beginning of your career in sports. You started at CKY at the old Polo Park building, of course. How did it all begin for you?
Well, it was just kind of a fluke thing. As a young kid, I wanted to be a pro athlete, and I sucked at sports. So then I got into impressions and that, and I did some stuff on local radio, and I was like 12 years old. And then I went to Red River Community College, as most people who are in the industry here went there, and I got a job with Peter Young, rest his soul. He just passed away. I was like 18 years old and a big afro and cheesy mustache, which I had for a long time. And then I got that job at, back in 1981, and it was changed my life for sure. It was like a lottery ticket.
Yeah, and so then you went from a local station to
and I loved it, by the way. I loved doing local. I'm sure you do. I loved doing the sports. The CKY Sports Star of the Week, which was iconic for the years, and it's so many great athletes. I loved covering local sports here.
And then you started covering sports on a nationwide and international level. What are some of the favorite moments in your career? I'm sure you have many.
How long is this show? I honestly remember, I loved covering the Bombers when they won the Grey Cup in '84 and '88, and then it kind of, I went national with CTV. Blue Jays in '92 and '93. I'm here for the Rady JCC dinner tonight. Joe Carter and Cito Gaston are in town, so we're going to do that tonight. But that was had such an impact because I never saw something that big. And then, of course, the Raptors in 2019 winning a championship, being around that stuff, Stanley Cups. But to me, the biggest is always the Olympics, and having a chance to host and call the Olympics. I went to like 6 or 7 of them, and there's nothing like calling Canadian sports and watching Canadian athletes do great things.
Yeah, and then of course you also didn't just do sports. You did a little bit of news for a bit. You were with Canada AM when 9/11 happened.
My second day was a new team with Lisa LaFlamme and Jeff Hutchison. I was sitting just like this, Rochelle, doing an interview, and I got a voice in my ear said, "Rod, we're going to have to go to break because plane has flown into the World Trade Center." We thought it was an accident, as everybody did at the time. I'm sure we were the first to report that the plane had flown in because we had a camera. Well, coincidentally on the World Trade Center that morning. So we quickly went to break, came back, and then of course, you know, all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
It was an incredible, I still think it was one of the stories of our generation. Tragic, of course, impactful, changed lives, but it was definitely, for a guy who does sports, the local kid from Winnipeg dreaming about doing sports and fun and games and then living in the toy department, it was suddenly very serious. And it was a great experience being around that, but kind of wore me down a little bit too, because it was such a serious story.
Absolutely. Cut to Black. It's a bestseller. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's available in all the bookstores.
Good to be home in Winnipeg. And it's good for Father's Day.
Yes.
Good book for Father's Day. A lot of good sports stories, a lot of beer stories.
Rod Black, Cut to Black. Thank you so much, Rod.
Thank you. Thanks. Good seeing you.
You too.
And it's good to have you home on such a beautiful day, but as a Transconian, you know that our summers really, exactly, our summers here are the best. It's 18 degrees right now, west winds 9 clicks, the pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 83%. It's going to be a beautiful day today, not quite a scorcher of a day. Into these low 20 temperatures for today and tomorrow, pretty much bang on what is normal for this time of year. There is the possibility of some brief passing showers later on today, but then it's into the weekend that heat is coming back again, and in a very big way. Now, with that heat comes the potential for some storms, especially later on into the afternoon on Sunday. After that, still looking to see that heat continuing into next week. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, before we say goodbye, we're going to show you some fun video. We kick things off with examples of why English is such a hard language to learn.
So the past tense of sneeze would be
sneezed,
which means the past tense of freeze would be
freezed.
No. What would you think? It would be froze. You know, it's because that's
so confusing, right? He goes on to show words like catch and caught, take and took, and the past tense of read is read, but spelt the same. This is why we should be patient with kids and those learning English as a second language. Try learning French. It's even harder. Now to moms trying to recognize their son's voice.
Mom!
The Hawthorn Football Club in Melbourne, Australia, thought it would be fun to see how easy it would be for the moms to recognize their players' voices. It didn't take long for most moms, all but one guessed correctly. I'm not surprised by that.
No, I think I'd do okay too.
Yeah, me too. And then finally, when visiting Barcelona, this is the place to stay. For more than 20 years now, Peregrine falcons have chosen the top of the Sagrada Familia as their nesting spot. And every year, people would bring their binoculars to the cathedral to catch a glimpse of the birds. This year, 2 chicks were born in early April. It takes about 30 to 45 days for them to grow strong enough to leave the nest. That does it for us.
Nice digs.
Yeah, have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.